Okay, so now we have the frame free run. It's being done by me. I have Lord Alu here helping me commentate, and maybe Kenta, although I think he fell asleep.
Are we getting any game sound?
We should be.
No.
Is there not any sound coming through? Interesting.
Sound is corrupted.
Sound has been corrupted. Oh, nice. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Why is that not working? I think XSplit's doing that thing again.
What with the preview window?
No, I think it's just not grabbing my audio for some reason. Wait, what? I'm so confused right now. Oh, okay, we're good. We're in now. I know what's going on. Okay. This is gonna be kind of annoying to fix. What? I can't even. Oh, shit. Right. Bear with us, guys. Where is Amarek even on my computer? I don't even know.
Clickety click, click, click.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Kirby's playing Pikmin 2. Don't worry about the 3-hour 50 estimate. That does include setup time, which is definitely needed.
Okay, now we should have sound. Hopefully.
Yay!
We got sound?
I can hear sound.
Okay.
Can the chat hear sound is the question.
Do we have game sound?
What's that noise in your background?
More noise.
Oh, it's gone now.
No idea. Okay.
Yeah, we have game audio.
We're good? Okay, let's fucking go. Okay. So, frame free. This is a video game. The commentator is, at the moment, Lord Alu, but there might be loads of people just popping in and out. I don't really mind.
Yeah, Kenta's supposed to be here, but isn't.
Yeah, I think Kenta fell asleep. Well, the Dragonfangs just woke up, so he might pop in. I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, Dragonfangs, that was a not so subtle hint. Your mumble is echoing.
My mumble?
Yeah. If you go
hang on.
audio input and set the echo to multi-channel, it should stop it. So, frame free, unlike the other two games, it's interplanetary, so there's different worlds to explore instead of like different areas on the same planet. And we start the game kind of in space, specifically on the GFS Olympus. So we have this little kind of spaceship intro first, where it's pretty much just cutscenes and setup. It's not really anything too interesting happening. I guess the main difference as well, because this is a Wii game, we do have pointer controls. And they're actually good, contrary to popular belief. Just takes some getting used to. That code's always the same, so easy peasy.
Has the echo gone?
Yep.
Sweet.
And before I started this run, I turned lock-on free aim off, which means that when I'm locked onto a target, my reticule will be forced to stay on the center of that target and won't let me free aim independently of that. And I mainly want that for a couple of early game sections. No, this is on an actual Wii. So here there's 4 targets. Here I actually don't want to target targets, I want to do it manually because it's just faster. Like so much faster. And then we actually already have a glitch in the run like straight away. Like people, you know, this game isn't as thoroughly broken as the other Prime games, but it still has its fair share of cool stuff. And the main technique we'll be using a lot is a spring space jump, or SSJ. And basically if you spring against the wall, you get an instant unmorph, which then lets you jump again in midair. So we can use that to skip a puzzle right there, and we'll be using it for a lot more purposes throughout the run. Here there's just a little keypad, again the code's always the same. If I can target it, that would be great. And then here's this minor optimization. By entering the room and then reloading the room by hitting the unload trigger about here-ish, it actually skips that cutscene with gore. It's slightly faster overall. So if anyone has any questions in chat, just ask them and Mordalu will pass them on to me. And I'll try and answer them as best as I can. So I can show off an SSJ again here. So basically if you jump in, like springboard into a wall, and then unmorph, you sometimes... that didn't work. But the idea is you get an instant unmorph, which then lets you jump again in midair. There's like a small frame window that you can do it in. It's also interestingly enough in this game they give you quite a lot of things to start off with. We already have morph ball bombs, and space jump at the start of the game. Which oh, and charge beam I guess, but that's not really a separate thing in Prime 2 either. Wait, is it? I don't even remember. Whatever. So we start off with quite a lot of stuff, which gives us access to quite a lot of movement techniques already at the start of the run. And of course the SSJ being accessed from the start helps us break some early game things pretty simply. So here's just another SSJ, oh no, never mind. The wall tricked me. You can just do another SSJ there to stop, to kind of keep momentum flowing a bit, but I didn't get it. Here just 3 bombs to kill blocks open the door, and then we have to go to the save point. I'm not going to save, but I have to go to that save point because the game makes me do it. You do get charged in Prime 2? Okay. But it doesn't check to see if you saved, it just makes you go there and refill your energy for whatever reason. So this game is also a lot more plot driven than the other 2 Prime games.
You're good to go.
I guess the other 2 main Prime games, Hunters has a decent amount of plot as well, but it's more plot driven than Hunters as well. We actually have interaction with what's going on. So here we're meeting with a load of bounty hunters to discuss... I don't even remember, I haven't watched the cutscenes in this game for like over 2 years. I have no idea what's going on at this point. But things happen and space pirates are invading basically. But also, this is, I guess just to point out, this is done on a New Game Plus file, which means we're doing it on a file that's already been completed, which gives us the ability to skip cutscenes, which cuts like over an hour off the run, but it also has all the necessary scan points scanned already, so we save some time in that as well. Unfortunately, you can't have one without the other, and we're not going to do runs without the cutscene skips, so we pretty much just take it as how it's done. Also a common theme you'll notice throughout the game is that doors load a lot slower in this game compared to Prime 1 and Prime 2. Which actually gives us a couple more options for how we can go about traversing rooms, because we don't have to worry too much about optimizing load triggers as badly, because we have a lot more spare time in between hitting them. Okay, so here because I have lock on free aim off, I have to like sniper shot, but then should do pretty well. There we go, nice, got that pirate. And then these guys I can actually aim at. Just kind of mash shots. Where's the other one? These guys are pretty random, but usually, wow, that whiffed, are you serious? Usually not too bad. That's good energy cell location as well. Whoa, hello? Hello? Thank you. Unfortunately, some of the pickup things in this game don't respond very well at all. Okay, so we just picked up an energy cell there and we're putting it into this thing. The energy cells actually form this game's fetch quest, similar to the temple keys in Prime 2 and the artifacts in Prime 1. Although we won't actually get into them until much later. This one's just a temporary one for now. I guess just to point out here as well, I need to kill bugs to trigger the continuation, and walking over them is the fastest way to do it, because you pull out a load of them. But basically, unlike the other two games, you can actually skip objects in this game's fetch quest. You don't need to collect all of the energy cells to complete the game. There's 9 in total. The game implies that you need 5, but we can actually do it in 3 with some clever tricks. And I think you can actually do it in 2 in low percent, just 1 or 2, but that's ridiculously hard. So there's the first energy tank, and that's mandatory. You can't skip that energy tank. Which is good, because weird things would happen if you could, for reasons that will become clear soon. I tried to do a little optimization with an instant unmorph there, but I didn't get it. It's a bit finicky. But you can basically instant unmorph and be facing the scan point immediately. And you saw that when I scanned it, it was already green, and that's what I mean by scan points already being cleared in the New Game Plus file. And now we're going to do a few more SSJs in this upcoming room. Just to kind of clear the room faster than jumping up it normally. So it's a good, just little showcase for that. There is again a slightly, well, a much harder trick you can do involving a box to clear the first level, but it's ridiculously hard. And I've never actually got it, so I'm not about to go for it. And now we have missiles. Missiles are nice. I like missiles. So, you know, we're only 8 minutes into the game where we already have space jump missiles and morphle bombs. So we already have a lot of damage options as well as a lot of movement options, which is nice. And again, lock on free aim really helps these targets, because, whoops, if I could actually aim that, great, okay. And just, without having to free aim, it makes hitting those targets a lot easier. Okay. This is the first boss, Berserker Lord. Funnily enough, this guy is one of the most RNG bosses in the run as well, which is, you know, exactly what you want 10 minutes into a game. But he can... basically, we kill his arm sections, and then he shoots blue, like, energy balls. And we want him to shoot 4. Well, we need to shoot 4 to kill his armor, and he can either shoot 3 or 5, and it's completely random. So hopefully he does 5. Just kind of lure him out. Yeah, we got it. Oh no, never mind. Oh no, I messed up. Great. So he got 5 there, but when I hit the first ball, it collided into the second one, and which cancels the balls. So I got kind of screwed over there a bit. So that would have been a 1 round, but I messed up. So now we have to sit through a second phase, which always starts with a like energy ball attack, which is slow. Whoops. This is not a very good fight. Whatever. And now we get to our ship and we're going to the planet Norian.
So how long have you been running Metroid Prime 3?
Well, I started running it like, I don't know, start of last year, up until probably mid-July, and I pretty much stopped running it for a while. I eventually got an NTS, like I was running on PAL originally, and I eventually got an, it's actually, so PAL is only, okay, only, PAL is only about 2.5 minutes slower for corruption. Which, given how uncompetitive this game is actually fine. I still haven't beaten my PB on NTSC, but so I did runs on PAL, and I got 2:30 in-game time, which was record at the time, which has then since been beaten. And and then I pretty much stopped playing it for a while. And I got my NTSC copy at the start of this year, but I haven't really done many runs since. Most of my runs this year I've been de-rusting for this marathon, so that says a lot. Again, more targets, so lock on free aim helps here. Oh, whoops. Basically, you can hit the targets on that door fast enough, then you can walk straight through without having to wait. And then that door is always annoying. And now we have grapple. Oh, this game and grapple. So, grapple beam isn't the same as it is in the other games. For this game, grapple is split into like multiple parts. There's like multiple different types of grapple. So grapple the Sue is what I just got, and it basically lets you grab onto things and either pull them towards you or throw them away from you. Grapple swing will be obtained later, and that's the kind of standard grapple beam people expect from the Prime games, with the grapple points and, you know, swinging across them. And then we also get grapple voltage, which is something entirely different, and hyper grapple, which is based on grapple voltage. And I won't explain what those are yet, because they'll come up later, and I don't really like repeating myself. But there I grabbed the grapple shield in front of the door, and here's a few more grapple plates that you have to grab and pull out of the way. And then hopefully, if I go fast enough, I can get a small optimization in the next room, because this room starts loading around now. And then if you go fast enough, you can make one cycle in the next room. I think I've got it, actually. That should be good. So these things are on a cycle, and I can roll straight on through here. Oh, maybe not. Oh, nice, got it. Okay, that was a bit close. So that saves like a bit of time. And here I'm going to turn lock on free aim off because I don't need it anymore. It actually becomes a hindrance for the rest of the run. Pausing doesn't add any in-game time, and obviously we still measure for in-game time. And while that door is loading, opening the menu kind of speeds up the door loading anyway, so we don't have to wait for it as long. Well, it doesn't speed it up, but it removes some of the in-game time we spend waiting around for it, because we're in the menu during the time it's loading. So now I have free aim, and now we get a first kind of real, kind of interesting fight. So there's a few waves of space pirates here, and there's kind of interesting ways in which you can optimize this. But basically the second phase, well the second wave, is an airship that will drop troopers, and it spawns after you've killed two of the pirates. Whoops, thank you. So we kill one of the ones that's really quick, one of the ones without armor because they're really quick to kill, and then kill the standard one. It speeds up a bit. And then you can kill these guys before they get their shields off. Just missed. This just speeds up that a bit. After killing those two, these flying ones spawn. And these guys are actually really good at dodging missiles in this game. Like, even if you're right in their face, they can dodge your missiles, because they can just do that kind of dodge move, and it's really obnoxious. Whoops. See? Missiles are not so good at homing as well in this game, even at short distances, and this pirate is being really annoying. Wow. Thank you. I could do with some missiles right now. There we go. And then there's this ship, which we can kind of snipe. So free aim, it lets me freely move the cursor, even when I'm locked onto something, which is helpful for a lot of cases, really. Not having to aim directly in front of where you're looking is very nice for a lot of fights. Okay, and now we've killed all the pirates, we gain access to the command visor, which lets us control our ship and do a couple of other things, but in this case it lets us land our ship at landing sites. Get a little dasher on there to kind of get a bit closer to the door. And at least in the early game, command visor isn't used for a lot, but we use it for controlling a couple of items that we get later for the ship upgrades. This is just kind of a weird lock thing. It's a real pain to optimize because the aiming is really finicky. And those targets are a lot smaller than they feel like they should be. Okay. So I'm just going to fire a missile here once this middle section gets out of the way, so I don't have to fire one later to destroy those blocks. And then we have something kind of reminiscent of, I would say reminiscent of Hive Mecha, but we never fought Hive Mecha in the Prime runs because it gets skipped. Oops. But basically, these kind of robots show up and you have to kill them, and you can kind of snipe them if you're good at aiming, and I'm not. Oh, that was okay, I guess. just go up here, hit this hand plate, and then things progress. So at the moment, like, we're on the planet Norian, and the space pirates are attacking, and we've been tasked with kind of activating the generators. So that's the first one. And then we get this cutscene, and this like media thing appears, but you don't see it because I skipped the cutscene. And then Admiral Dane talks a lot, and you can't really get him to shut up.
Samus is heading right at you. That's why the pirates disabled the defense system.
So again, you can kind of abuse the instant unmorph a lot in this game with Spring Ball by getting the camera stuck. And then you can SSJ, which is a spring jump, is a space jump from a Spring Ball, which lets you just kind of cut some corners and generally kind of optimize your movement in a lot of places. Since I'm going to prioritize real time in this route, I'm not going to take the ship back to the landing site, but if you do it, saves about 30 seconds in-game time for a sacrifice of about 50 seconds real time. But I still kind of optimize for real time slightly in my runs, because this game's already long enough as it is. And I find this route more interesting anyway. So you see a lot of spring balling to kind of get over small slopes or little obstacles. Especially since it doesn't really mess with your momentum very much. Okay, so this is the annoying bit about turning free aim off, but there's not really a convenient place to put it back on. There's these little things here, but then you can't really target them anyway, so free aim doesn't even help with these. You have to... They're just annoying to hit. Again, it's like the hitbox is slightly smaller than it would look.
Our scans of the meteor have detected massive quantities of phasum.
Oops, I didn't mean to unmorph though. So at a lot of points during the run, there'll be text up on the screen, either because of like cutscenes or because of the hint system in this game. Even when you turn it off, you still get a lot of text kind of appearing for people telling you where to go or what to do next.
Hello, dude.
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I'm trying to keep you company in this room.
That's
But
good,
yeah,
because
so-
I may end up leaving in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's cool.
As long as there's someone here.
Yep. So there's also a skip there I could have done, but again, it's something that's ridiculously hard. Only a couple of people have done it, but you can do a very tricky kind of double bomb jump up to the top of that kind of morphle tunnel. The thing is with this game is they kind of broke bomb jumping in the fact that you can't use more than one bomb in mid-air to try and cut back on free BSJs and free BJs and UBJs from like the earlier games. But you can actually use the very edge of the tunnel as a standable spot, and if you place a bomb there, the game thinks it's on the ground, and then you can kind of jump into the very edge of the blast radius and it counts. It's very strange why it works, but the important thing is it does. So there's Ridley. We'll see him again later, don't worry. Ridley is ever present. Again, tried the SSJ optimization there and didn't get it. And another one of these weird doors. That was good actually. That was actually a rather good door. So this is the second generator room. This one doesn't have a fight that we have to do in it, but it has a lot more kind of platforming stuff. It's mainly just like a sequence of multiple tunnels. Hello. Thank you. And here we can do like a small optimization by just like dropping down here because the terminal full trigger is always on the side of the room that we started in, and it's slightly faster than rolling across.
Sense, our efforts to slow the meteor have failed. We must
So here we just have a kind of multiple tunnel with some slots in it. Oh, no, I missed the cycle there. The cycle of those kind of gas things. So I think it starts when you first like load the room, which is then dependent on how quickly you get the lock. So it's not really very consistent to always get a certain cycle there. But I mean, you can just kind of deal with whatever you get. It's not too much of an issue. Am I gonna go for YOLO jumps? I want to go for YOLO jumps. I'll do one YOLO jump and see what happens. So there's again a very small kind of optimization that's very risky of these morphal tunnels. Ah, do I want to do it? I want to do it, but I don't. Okay, I did one. We're done. We're done. I did one. That's all I'm doing. But basically, you can do that for every single corner. If you fall down, you lose like a minute, so it's not really worth it. But it looks cool if you can pull it off. Okay. I said Ridley would be back. Well, he's back now. So this is an interesting fight. So in this game, Ridley's pretty much only vulnerable in his face, which is kind of an interesting problem for aiming. And also I'm spamming kind of normal shots instead of charge shots. Charge shots do better damage, but the issue being is if you miss a charge shot, then you've wasted a lot of time and damage you could have been doing. So spamming normal shots just works out better. So this fight's pretty much always the same. See there, I tried to get a charge shot off and I missed. Again, missed another charge shot. Like, really has a lot of attacks that are very telegraphed, like very similarly, so you can't always tell what he's gonna do, which is very obnoxious. There's a couple of attacks you can really get him on, but it's not very concrete. So but the pattern's pretty much always the same. He always grabs you, then puts you below him, does a few more attacks, grabs you again, and then he won't grab you again for the rest of the fight. He'll just flow below you. Nice. Was a good grab pattern. There. No. I whiffed the charge shot, unfortunately. It's kind of annoying. Especially this last section. It gets very annoying because if you start doing damage early, obviously he dies faster but he gets further away, and the further away he gets, it becomes a lot harder to aim. So, kind of a good fight is traversing the medium between being able to aim and actually being able to do damage. Okay, that's a decent fight. And then good guy Rundus comes in and saves us. Rundus is like a very cool guy. He's a good guy Rundus for now. And he has like the best music, which is the important bit. Okay, so he triggered this generator, and if you were paying attention earlier, Rundus already did the third one for us. All the generators are backup line, and as you can tell from the sound, the meteor impact was not prevented. And the Aurora unit is now going to tell you that as well. Interestingly enough, if you mash through the text there, that door doesn't load instantly. There's a lot of kind of weird stuff like that in terms of not going through the text to manipulate the loading. It's kind of weird how it works. So yeah, this is where hint system off, is that it still comes up with the press 1 to go to the map screen text. In Power they actually fix that, like you mash through the text and it disappears and you don't have to let it time out. It's really weird, like I don't understand why, but retro, I guess. Get up there, nice. So, although ghetto jumping for the most part is removed in this game, you can still get a slight ghetto effect by jumping off a slope or jumping off like the edge of a ledge. They both give you a slight ghetto effect, so you can still kind of make jumps that are slightly out of your normal range, but not to the extent as you can in Prime 1 and Prime 2. So like there you can kind of ghetto against the edge of that kind of corridor to get up into the gap between the doors opening faster because they actually have like actual hitboxes that are accurate.
If we don't make it to the top in time, we can kiss this planet goodbye.
Yeah, something like that. So, plot, cutscenes, plot. You kind of go into a room and then Dark Samus kind of turns up and just pretty much destroys you, which sets up the rest of the game. You know, classic good storytelling 1 month later. I wonder what happened in a month. That's like no time at all.
She was sleeping. She was really tired.
Yeah. Really, really tired.
She's coming too.
But now she's OP though, so it's fine.
This is true. That was like the best power nap ever.
It's a good month to start.
You've been asleep for quite some time. A month to be exact.
So now we're getting the PED, which is the phasal enhancement device, which gives us hyper mode. And hyper mode is pretty broken, I guess, to put it lightly. When in hyper mode, you give up 1 E-Tank for the price. So you give up 1 E-Tank, like that's how much it costs, but it makes you invulnerable for infinite time to start with, and then you get a time limit on it later. You also do ridiculous works of damage, and you become invulnerable to any damage, with certain exceptions. So, you know, it's pretty good. As famously quoted by Retro, hyper mode is a speedrunner's best friend. And they're actually correct. It's one of the few things they got right about speedrunning.
Retro actually said that? Wow.
Yep.
You must have noticed during this step, over the past month, we've now that you're familiar with it.
So yeah, it says like after 25 seconds the safety mechanism cuts in for hyper mode. We actually get a way to extend that later, but well, not really extend that, but you can kind of abuse around the time limit in certain cases. The thing about hyper mode is that although it's very powerful, I think a lot of people casually were very apprehensive to use it because it seems like, oh no, I'm giving up an E-Tank worth of energy, what if I need that later?
Pretty much, that's... I almost never used it playing casual. Except for like boss fights.
Yeah. I never used to. Things have changed. A lot. So we just have a few more cutscenes and then we land on the first planet, Brio, and then we start doing some really cool stuff. So again, like, you can kind of do a ghetto effect off certain slopes. You get a little bit higher than you would normally. But normally if you hit a slope in midair, you just can't jump again, even if you have a second jump left, which is like their attempted fix for ghetto jumping, which didn't really work and just actually made some rooms really terrible. And the thing is, they didn't even really fix ghetto jumping anyway, so, you know, good job. So that cutscene kind of sets up the fact that each planet has its own hunter waiting for you. And that's pretty much what the game is at the moment, is investigating what the Phazon Leviathans are and going to all the planets, getting rid of all the Phazon. Yeah, pretty much what DF said. It's like you touch a crane in midair and suddenly you can't jump again. It's pretty silly. So the Aurora unit gives you a lot of luck, and then, you know, you actually play the game. This was not a good Norian. Whatever. Okay. Let's go. So, this first trip
Keyboards everywhere.
Yeah. This first trip to Cliffside Brio, we're basically getting two things. We're getting the grapple swing and we're getting the map for Brio. In 100% you actually get the grapple swing later. There's a small trick you can do to get the map early, and then you get grapple swing after ice missiles, which cuts out a backtrack for an item. But that works out slower for any percent, so we don't do it. It's a cool trick though. I mean, I could do the trick to get the map without grapple, even after I have grapple, just to kind of show it off. But I haven't done it in ages, so I'd probably fail it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. But coming up in this next room, there's actually a really kind of annoying trick called Gateway. So this room's called Gateway, and the trick's called Gateway SSJ. And basically, there's a puzzle here where you're meant to enter 2 morphal slots and activate kind of 2 gates to open the main gate. But you can, the game only checks to see if the upper one's activated, so you can skip straight to the upper one by doing a SSJ off this wall, off this middle structure. Hang on, turn it off first. Setup should be there. Nice, okay. I got really good at that recently. I don't know why, but I'll take it.
Hey.
So again, like I said, hidden system. So the text is gonna stay on the game feed for a long time. So if you don't like the Aurora unit's voice, I apologize, but there's not really much I can do about that. Because I'm not gonna mash through all the text and go into the map screen. So just making our way to grapple swing. Here's actually the first kind of point you need to use hyper mode. It's the phazon blobs, I call them. I don't know if they have a proper name, but basically these kind of things are only vulnerable to phazon beam, so you have to go to hyper mode to get past it. And then here I'm just going to go into hyper mode again because hyper mode persists through cutscenes, and there is a fight here. I want hyper mode 4, and my phone's going off. Shut up, phone. Okay. My phone's telling me to wake up, even though I woke up like 4.5 hours ago. Good job. That might happen again later. I don't know. So those reptiles are pretty easy to kill with hyper mode. These peas. They spawn in really weird places. Like they're really inconsistent in where they spawn. And now we're just kind of going through this morphable puzzle to get to grapple swing. I think next time I go in the ship, I'm gonna make sure all my phone is turned off. That was really sick though. That was like a really quick gateway SSJ. Cool. And yes, I am splitting because I care.
Yeah, this might turn out to be World Record, you know.
It might be PB. Don't think I'm gonna world record because I'm already 1.5 minutes behind my splits. And my splits are bad. So, again, kind of running theme, you know, SSJs everywhere. Well, there's another one right here. Setup is like, get a plant, look at a plant, jump. This skips kind of going across to the other side of the room using grapple swing to get across. You can't actually, again, use that trick in 100% because you want the energy tank from a Reliquary 2, I think the room's called, which is blocked by an ice missile door at the top of that room, which is, again, why you would get ice missiles before grapple swing in 100%. And like I said, so in hyper mode you're vulnerable to damage, so I can just sit here in hyper mode and do nothing. And I won't take any damage, and then when I go out of hyper mode, because I haven't used any hyper shots, I actually don't lose any of the health I injected. So when you uninject hyper mode, you actually get back all the health you haven't used. So it's not like that E-tank's gone forever, and that does help in a few places. Because, you know, we don't always want to use up the health we use for hyper mode. Let's play SSJs again? Okay. So an SSJ is a spring space jump. Basically, if you springboard against a wall, like backwards into a wall, then you get something called an instant unmorph, which is where the game doesn't play the unmorphing animation. And then after an instant unmorph, you have a few frames where you can jump, and the game thinks you're on the ground, so you can jump again in midair. And that lets you get like another jump of worse of height. So this is the second thing we need to grab in this trip to Brio, which is the map, which gives us access to the 2 other landing sites on Brio. Which we obviously kind of need. I think I got the door shot actually. It saves like a second or so. You can kind of shoot the door in the time it takes. Yeah, I got it, nice. You can shoot the door in the time it takes to turn around. and it starts loading in the room a little bit earlier than normal. Yeah, it's about just over an hour longer real time. About an hour longer real in-game time. So now we're just making our way back to the ship, and the Aurora unit's not going to show up again for a while. What a surprise.
They must be if these targets are we are uploading the location of each energy signature and nearby locations.
Whoa! What the? What? 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 What?
Yo, where did he come?
That's a new one. Okay. So there's just some splinters here on this bridge. Pretty easy to take care of. They die in like 4 hyper shots, and there's 5 of them, which means you have just enough health in a single hyper mode tank to take out all of them without having to re-enter hyper mode. And you get loads of health drops anyway. And the thing is, like, you can pick up health drops, and it refills your health, with the exception of the energy tank you had in like hyper mode. But if you pick up a drop like when you're coming out of hyper mode, you can still replenish energy above that. So although I went in with like 36 and 2 fully tanks, I come out with 9 energy and 2 fully tanks because I replenished all the energy I didn't have invested in hyper mode during the fight. It's just a small optimization because the terminal full trigger set of your ship. It's always faster to just fall down here instead of rolling across the bridge. And now we're gonna fly to Brio Fire. That was like really surprising, like I was not expecting that. I thought it was weird that he hadn't spawned, but I wasn't expecting him to like suddenly just push me out of the way. How
He was waiting and ambushing you.
He knew, man.
They're evolving.
He knew.
I was noticing you were speedrunning, so it's like he's not gonna pay attention if I'm not here. Just gonna
He
hide
knew
behind
it
the
was a
wall.
marathon. There's 1,000 people watching. I'm going to try and knock this bitch off.
This is my chance, I can finally be famous. Marvel on TV, hi! Okay. So there's 2 gates here in this room. You can actually get on top of these, which again is using 100% to get a missile expansion early. There's like a lot of some cooler minor stuff that's used to learn 100% that we don't use in 80% just to kind of get some expansions. And then there's a trick here, which is used in... it's used a lot of times in both categories. Just to... wow. Dude, seriously, go away. Just to skip a little grapple puzzle is you can jump up into the corner there as a standable spot, and then jump to the platform instead of having to do the grapple puzzle. Save some time. Who did that?
That was me. How do you unslow?
God damn it. It's like / slow mode off or something.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
God damn it, Lolly. What are you doing? You're breaking chat. My chat experience! Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. So this game's called Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, and, you know, this is where we get corrupted.
Spoilers.
Meh, whatever. So corruption for hyper mode is a bit weird. It turns the bar at the top of the screen red, which you can obviously see, which means that Phazon starts filling up on its own. Now remember that Phazon shots are really strong, so we basically get an unlimited supply of high-powered damage for 25 seconds.
Oh
And
no.
it gets even better than that, because when you take damage in red Phazon, in red hyper mode, it actually refills the Phazon bar. So yeah, balancing, that's the thing, right, in video games. Hyper mode totally isn't broken. We actually see a really good example of hyper mode being completely broken coming up very soon, actually, the next boss, which is, well, I'm not going to say what it is, because spoilers, but... So we just have a little fight with Warp Hounds here. Warp Hounds are probably the most obnoxious... I'm totally awake. Obnoxious enemy in this game. Because they warp around randomly, they go to random locations, they take a random amount of time to warp, and that can happen, which means I lose a lot of health, because I got corrupted. So that's the bad thing about corruption, is that if you're trying to not get corrupted, and you do, you have to spend time to dump all the Phazon, and you lose any energy you didn't expend, because you have to clear the energy tank to get out of it. Actually, okay, that's not strictly true, but the exception is not helpful in most cases. or actually at all. But basically, Phazon, well, Fuel Gel and Acid Rain both cancel Hyper Mode and even Corrupted Hyper Mode instantly, but they dump your E-Tank as well, so that's not helpful. So here we're just kind of climbing up this room. We can't skip this room. Kind of need to get through it. Whoa, get in there. Thank you. Well, actually no. Okay, so you can't skip this room on normal. On harder difficulties, there's actually a very tricky damage boost you can do to skip this entire section. Although it still benefits you to get corrupted, you can skip these rooms. God damn it. Okay, so grapple wasps are like the worst thing in the universe. Like, seriously. Like, hello? Okay, fine, just go away. Seriously. Like, so if they get in your way, you might like grab them with the grapple and then pull their tails and they explode, but then if they come towards you, you can't pull on the grapple anymore because of how grapple works, and they just basically fly around with your grapple attached. And there's not really much you can do about it. Oh, God damn it, get up there. And obviously, although, you know, this is a very classic kind of Morphle Bomb puzzle, Springboard's a lot faster to use than Morphle Bombs. So I have pretty low health here, so I'm going to have to try and get a couple of drops, otherwise I'm going to have some potential issues in a moment. So I'll kill a few more things than I normally would just to try and get some health drops. Oh my god, phone, shut up! I really did not plan this very well. Oops. So these few rooms we just kind of pass through. It's not really much. So here's Fuel Gel. If you go in it, you take damage. It's like Phazon in the early games, except now in this game, if you go into Phazon, it actually heals you, which is convenient.
I mean, it's pretty much just lava.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a better one, lava from like Prime 1. Because even with like Barrier and Gravity, lava still hurts you in that game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab a, hopefully a 50 drop here, cool. Okay, we should be good. So in this room there's 2 pirate ships and you can blow them up because Hyper Beam lol. And then we get this way, which is Rundus, and Rundus is, hello, Hyper Mode is broken. So I'm going to do this entire fight with 1 energy tank, hopefully, if I don't mess it up. So basically, you hit Rundus with null shots, and it damages his armor, and then after a while you can pull his armor off to grapple. And then by running towards him, you manipulate him into doing his swipe attack, which keeps him in place and stops him from running away. And combine that with the corruption mechanic, you pretty much can keep him looped while you're doing enough damage to kill him, and your hyper bar keeps filling up. And you can 2-round him with 1 energy tank, easy peasy, every time. So although Rundus' theme is one of the best pieces of music in the game, we get to hear it for all of 20 seconds. Which is a shame. And now we have ice missiles, which are pretty helpful. So, upgrade stack in this game. Like, you don't have the option to turn certain things off or on. So, again, kind of similar to Prime 1 and Prime 2, like, missile upgrade stack. So, once you have Seeker missiles, you have obviously normal missiles. So in this game we have normal missiles, then you get ice missiles. And then when you do get Seeker missiles, and actually, funnily enough, if you don't have ice missiles, when you grab Seeker missiles, the game gives you ice missiles. Because of how it works. Like, it doesn't check to see if you have ice missiles, it's just Seekers have an ice property, like, in them. Which is pretty funny. It's actually used in low percent, I'm pretty sure. And also, like, the ice missile doors on Elysia are not actually ice missile doors, they're normal missile doors, because the game assumes you can't have not got ice missiles by the time you get to Elysia. So we're actually going this way back to open up this grapple shortcut for later. We could have, like, there's obviously the ice missile shortcut using the kind of snake that walks you back to the start, And while that would be technically quicker, it works out slower overall because then we have to go back the long way around. But this way we get to open the shortcut here for later, so it works out a lot faster overall. I think not using the shortcut loses like a minute 30 or something. It's pretty significant. And you'll notice I'm pretty low health right now, but it doesn't really matter because you get a full health refill every time you enter your ship, which is very nice. Actually, considering we are using hyper mode a lot, like health management becomes quite an important thing in this run. So now we're going to fly back to Cliffside Brio, because we need to pick up ship missiles, which are pretty shit missiles, to be honest. But they are unfortunately needed to complete Brio.
Right, I'm being called away, so I will drop out for a little while, but I should be back before the run ends anyway.
Alright, see you later.
So I will leave you in Dragon fans' capable hands.
See you, man.
Anyway.
The benefit of early morning slots where all the commentators are asleep. It's so funny, like Kenta said like 30 minutes before I run, it's like, okay, I need to sit up now because I need to not fall asleep before your run. I said, you better not, and he's like, don't worry, I'll be impressed with myself if I fall asleep sitting up. And he's not here, so good job, Kenta. If you're watching this broadcast, congratulations.
I saw that conversation in Skype though.
What's Mobius telling me? Mobius said something at me in the Skype group, I can't see what it is.
Oh.
I can just see Maelstrom and then like the rest is trapped behind Mumble.
He told me to go to bed.
Okay, run's over guys, I gotta go to sleep now, sorry. I didn't realize I was on a schedule. Okay, so this is the Wii version of the game, I guess I didn't explain that. The Wii U re-release is actually faster in real time for 100%, but only 100%, because a lot of the tricks used in any percent are patched on the Wii U version, so even though it loads a lot faster, it still works out worse in-game time and real time for any percent to use the Wii U version. Oh, whoops. I tried to go for a little trick there, but I messed it up. So we have a pretty interesting room. So there's a golem in the center of this room, and he's connected by like, I think it's 4 fuel gel cables. Triggering this first one spawns some warp hounds, and we all know how much I love warp hounds. Luckily these guys are actually pretty tame and tend to stay still for long periods of time, which is convenient. Until they go up there and I can't hit them. I can hit that second string while that cutscene's playing, just to kind of save a little bit of time. Also, you might hear the music kind of skipping. The music in this game is kind of broken.
Oh wait, what?
It does weird things. It turns out it wasn't actually my disc, it's actually the game. My NTSC disc does exactly the same thing as my PAL disc used to.
I thought that was just like
my disc dying, but no, it's actually the game.
I thought that was just your stream being weird.
No, it's actually like the game.
Wow, okay.
Like, I used to think it was because my PAL disc was like horribly scratched, but as soon as I got my NTSC disc, like first run I did, brand new disc, exactly the same thing happened.
Maybe your console's scratched.
Yeah, it could be that actually. My Wii's pretty old. Okay. So it's just some text here. Again, like, going through this text actually speeds up the loading of the next room for some reason. Don't know why. One of those weird things. Like I said, like, it doesn't really make any sense, but I do it because it works. So this is a really fun room to optimize. So we drop down to the bottom here to grab an energy tank. And then you'll notice I hit the crystal on the statue above me. There's actually a little trick. There's a few tricks we can do here, but first, if I do a space jump and then hold like the Z button, which is the lock angle thing, you actually can push up slopes when you land on them if you do that, which lets you kind of just push up to, like, you kind of glide up the edge of the statue. And then here's an SSJ to just kind of skip going the long way around, save some time. It's a really fun room. This next room's pretty fun as well. So go here, and you have to go near a hand point, and it activates the fight in this room, which has, I think it's 6 or 7 enemies in it. I think it's 3 wall pounds and 4 Reptilicus, but I don't remember. I don't count them anymore, I used to count them. Like, because I used to remember where all the spawn points were as well, but I've forgotten that. So again, like, just kind of abusing the fact that I'm corrupted and not doing my shots as early as I could, just to kind of save up some phase on. Where's the last one gone? He's up there. That's the worst spawn I can get, unfortunately. That was pretty fast overall. So now this room has... So this is where we get the ship missiles. And there's a couple of small things left in this room. You can actually do a really complex BSJ off that kind of switch I just activated to get up to skip this elevator, but it doesn't work out that much faster and it's basically like impossible. And then instead of going all the way around the room, you can space jump directly to this ledge, which is like a well-timed space jump and using a morph ball to extend your jump distance slightly. Like, there's lots of, like, as opposed to the kind of major skip tricks which this game doesn't have so much, there's a lot of really kind of minor optimizations, and it's really kind of a lot easier to see them in this game, I think, because it's, you know, for the most part, we're not doing crazy stuff in terms of where we're going. Oops. Grab the ship missiles. Oh. And now we can finish up Brio. So now we have to go to the 2 energy signatures that the Aurora unit was telling us about earlier that we were conveniently ignoring. I'm gonna go to the Fawn Jungle first and do that energy cell. Like, the order doesn't actually matter, they work out the same. You can do them whichever order you want them to. I just prefer doing Fawn first. I mean, there's not really any reason. I don't get an energy tank or anything, so it's just entirely preference. But you actually get to see the second use of Command Visor, which is controlling the ship missiles very soon. Just go into hyper mode again before this cutscene starts. I'm already in hyper mode to fight these guys. Because the thing is, although they like do their kind of like I'm gonna fight you animation in the cutscene, they do it again like once the cutscene stops, so you can kill the first one before it even does anything. Ooh. Those twist locks are sometimes just a little bit hard to trigger, I guess. Okay, so there's a lot of these kind of satellite dishes which like block you using your command visor in the area. So usually if you see them, there's something you can do with the command visor. In this case, it's ship missiles, which blows up this gate for us. There is no way to get over this gate without it, so I'm kind of stuck with it. And even if you could get over it, you couldn't get back, so you would be stuck. Like, you know, you'd need to find a way to get over it in both directions. Otherwise, you'd be stuck. So here is, again, another kind of small fight, but then we also have a mini-boss, which is Karik, which is, again, another pretty kind of interesting fight. The Karik fight is actually split into like 2 parts. You've got the actual Karik itself, and you've got the Rider. The Rider is really, really weak. He dies to like 2 phasal shots or something. The main problem is Karik. So the general kind of idea is that you shoot him in the face, and then bomb underneath him, repeat that, and then you just kind of go hyper mode on him. Whoops. Because remember, hyper mode does ridiculous damage. Charge up, and health bar just kind of melts. Pretty fun. I got loads of health here, so I just burned some to kill those guys because I don't really need much health coming up, and they get in the way. So, okay, going back to the door loading thing, so you remember that in Prime 1 the Artifact Temple door takes quite a while to load, and it seems to be like, you know, that time is pretty average for a Prime 3 door. Well, this is the worst door in the game. This door takes like 20 seconds to load. And there's nothing you can do. Except wait. And the another thing about this room is that you have to go back towards that door to trigger what happens next. So you can't even hit the load trigger for the next room, although I think I hit a load trigger for something, because that took ages. Like, the load triggers in this room are pretty strangely placed. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but that load seems to take a lot longer than it should have been. So I wonder if I hit the load trigger for one of the rooms by accident. I hit something, I don't know what I hit, whatever. So this is actually something that's non-obvious. So normally you go out the right door and you would do an anti-aircraft turret, and then you would continue around the back and you would do a second anti-aircraft turret. But the game only checks to see if the second one's defeated. You know, notice a pattern here, the game only checks for like the latest thing to be completed because it assumes you can't get to the rest. So by SSJing up that ledge, we can get to the second turret first, and destroy that, and the game never checks. It also causes some interesting things to happen in this room. Funnily enough, if you're doing 100%, you need to remember to activate the cutscene that normally plays when you enter this room, or you softlock later on, and that's not fun. But, you know, that pole is totally meant to be there, that's not messed up at all. This guy totally notices you and doesn't completely ignore you at all. The soldiers in this room actually aggro you and completely know that you're there. This guy I do actually have to kill. Because the issue is a couple of the aerial pirates will eventually reactivate the switches. So that's not so great. And then we have these three things at the bottom we just hit with hyper mode and they kind of blow up. And that's Thorn Jungle almost done. So there's another like small weird point about doing this sequence break, is that the game gets kind of confused that you've only killed the second one. So when I re-enter this next room, if I tried to use the ship missile target, it actually wouldn't work. You actually have to walk through the door and then walk back through the door again to trigger being able to use the ship missile. No one has any real idea why, you just kind of have to do it. It's just one of those things, you know, because video games. Here I'm gonna try and... No, I don't think I got it. So there I was trying to dash backwards into a loading trigger for the door, which will make this load long, but then open the door a lot quicker. I don't think I got it though. Yeah, I was too far forward. I've only got it like once ever. It's a really precise dash on a really strange angle. But you speed up this door loading, so you don't have to wait here for as long. It saves like a decent amount of in-game time. It's obviously like 20 seconds or so. Just picking up a few health drops. I'm more than fine on health. And now I'm just gonna pretty much roll back to my ship. Except when I'm not gonna roll. Unfortunately, like, this area is kind of annoying for Morphball because there's a lot of places that you can't... You need to, like, space jump up, you can't just, like, springboard off or anything. Oh, whoops. So now we're going back to Brio Fire just to finish up that area. Again, we're gonna get to the generator. And then activate that, and then that gives us access to the phase on Zed on Brio. Which is where we'll get our first major boss, which is Mognar. Mognar's a fun fight, actually. So yeah, we're gonna do this grapple room. I'm gonna try for a tiny time saver. I tried it last time and failed it. No, I didn't get it again. So basically, if you hit the second grapple as you're falling, you trigger terminal fall, but the third, like the switch for the third grapple is already active, so you don't have to swing back and forward. And done optimally, it saves like 1.2 seconds, I think it is. So it's completely worth it.
Absolutely.
Well, if you fail it, it only loses less than a second, so it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The expected time save is positive. I mean, the fact that they never get it should probably make me not try it anymore, but oh well. So, this next room coming up is obviously where we fought Rundus, and room layers change based on obviously certain like events that happen in the game, and obviously we talked about that earlier. Well, this room you actually can't. Oh my god, phone, shut up! I really need to sort that out. But yeah, so this room's layer changes when you get access to the ship missiles. It doesn't actually check to see if you've got main ones, just even an expansion will trigger it. But you can't actually access the, you can't, like, complete the sub-objective without ship missiles anyway, because you still need them to, like, hit the energy signature or whatever it is, the generator thing. I don't know what they're called, I don't remember anymore. It's been so long.
I would say more, Mohammed, but Maelstrom is pretty good at talking by himself. And I don't really know his name.
I'm not sure that's a compliment on that.
It is a compliment. I could not commentate a 3-hour run by myself.
It's just like ESA.
It's just like an ESA. Like the same thing happened. I was just sitting there, like asking like a question every 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I know. I'm fine with it.
Okay. So that's the second generator done. Now we're gonna make our way to Mognar. So that was a really good example of the kind of ghetto effect you can get off a lip. Like, my jump went a lot higher than it normally would have done. Oh, I missed. I misaimed that really badly. Oh my god, go away, please. Everything's just like, wants to really mess with me today. I bet you I'm not gonna kill Steam Lord. I bet you I'm gonna have to get energy expansion for Steam Lord. So that, like, elevators are kind of dumb in this game. The fact that they have like an invisible wall around them until the elevator is completely stopped. Not really sure why. I mean, I guess it's probably to try and stop people abusing them, but it just makes them obnoxious. Oh my god! Okay. I'm getting stuck everywhere. So now we're going to use the shortcut because it actually, you know, makes it worth it. I mean, we'll come back here one time later, but we don't go anywhere near that end of Brio, so it doesn't really matter. Do you want to put the schedule in chat?
I'm on it.
I just looked over, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
The first message I saw was like, "Has there been a run of something?"
Yes. I was in the middle of typing scheduler.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, so the general flow of this game is you go to a planet, you do some stuff on the planet to get access to the seed, and then you go to the seed and defeat the seed boss. Or they're called seed bosses. So this is the Brio seed, and the boss here is Mognar. And okay, so Mognar is a pretty interesting fight. He has 4 kind of weak spots that you activate kind of you like take the shield off one at a time and then destroy one at a time. And after you kill his second weak point, he'll normally do a like rock smash kind of attack, which takes a lot of time, is uninterruptible, and you can't damage him during it. So don't want that to happen. But you can skip it by kind of killing a third orb before he kind of reacts from his second one being killed. It's a pretty tight window, and I'm obviously going to go for it because it saves a lot of time, but hoping to get it. If I don't, I'm going to be upset because I haven't failed it in a long time.
Do we skip any major upgrades in any percent?
Yeah, you skip the hazard shield,
Right. Okay.
which is technically a major upgrade.
I count it as a major upgrade. It's like a
Okay.
stage upgrade. So
Yeah, so I'm going to just like focus on this a sec. Oh, no, okay, this works. We're fine. We should be fine. We're not fine. Weird things are happening. Oh, he's giving me a really weird pattern right now. He's laughing at me, which is odd. He doesn't normally do the laugh thing, like, I was not expecting that. I have like no health right now, this is like not good. Oh, that's bad. Nope, bad. Get it, get it, get it, come on.
don't die.
Okay, we're in there. Yeah, we're in there. Maybe not. I mean, okay, we got it. Okay, I should be good. It was kind of, oh, hang on. No, I might not be good.
There's a lot of hesitation in it.
Okay, we should be fine. So I got the rock smash skip, but then I left myself without enough energy to go back into hyper mode on the last phase, which is kind of not ideal. But luckily I got some health drops. There was like some health drops lying around that I hadn't picked up. And he's dead. Yay! Okay. That was a bit sketchy. Yeah, so I had a lot of health, like dying wasn't an issue, but you can't activate hyper mode if you have less than a full E-tank. Also, nice glitch. I go for that on like every seed boss, it's so good.
Is that just the seed bosses?
It's if you like, there's like a 2-frame window where it happens if you morph after a cutscene.
I see.
I'm just like more consistent on it getting on those fights than anything else. Yes, you fight Ridley several times in this game actually. Spoilers!
No. We already fought Ridley, it's done.
Well, we technically fought him twice already, so take what you will from that. Yeah, so Mognar is like the last sketchy point in the run, which should kind of tell you how abusable hyper mode is for the rest of the game. There's like no more scary fights, like at all. I mean, okay, well, that's kind of a lie, but they're not sketchy for the reason of like dying or not having enough health. They're sketchy because you have to do certain tricks and skip certain parts of fights. Elysia. It's pretty accurate. It's a very chill section of the run. That's my positive spin on it. It's a chill section. Take from that what you will. But more importantly, okay, so now we have Hyper Ball. Now Hyper Ball is like an AoE attack, and it shoots like phazon tendrils out from the morph ball. I mean, it's helpful for a few enemies.
It lets you open doors.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main use of it, is that because it's AoE, you can open a door in morph ball without having to use bombs. So, for like general movement, it's a lot nicer. and it becomes even more better, like even more overpowered for movement purposes when we get access to some boost ball, which is very soon actually. The combination of boost ball and hyper ball are very good for traversing areas. Makes the movement optimization a lot of fun. Sky rails? Okay, so something that a lot of people don't know about these sky rails, apparently nobody knows this, is that you don't actually have to do anything on them. You can just sit in hyper mode and nothing happens.
Man, hyper mode is so balanced.
So, the thing is, in this game, if you're on a sky rail and you take damage, you get knocked off it, but the thing is, you don't take damage in hyper mode.
Right.
And more specifically, you don't have damage knockback in hyper mode. So, sky rails aren't even an issue.
Blowing people's minds.
Yep. Remember guys, hyper mode is good. They put it in the game, so don't use it, abuse it. The wonders of hyper mode. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this missile suspension here. Angelis, your mobile's echoing.
Well, I'll fix that.
So missiles become a bit of an issue soonish, near the end of Elysia, because we get Seeker missiles, and there's a lot of Seeker targets we have to hit like consecutively, and so with a low number of missiles, bad things happen. So I get pretty much like the minimum number of missiles that's viable, which I think is 25 for the end of Elysia, and I think I picked one more expansion up. I don't actually remember the exact numbers. I just pick up expansions, I don't look at the numbers. But that like is enough to guarantee that I won't have issues with missiles at the end of Elysia. Well, it's not even enough to guarantee I won't have issues. Like I've had issues with not having enough missiles in 100%, where you have like 85 missiles at that point. Like, you will see why soon enough. But Seekers are not very good in this game. Which boss is on Elysia? Seeker missiles is the boss on Elysia.
That is too accurate.
It's so true. Technically the bosses on Elysia are Steam Lord, Defense Drone, Gore, and Helios, but one of those barely counts as a boss. Like, Helios is, like, the Seeker missile targets before Helios is harder to do right than Helios. Helios shouldn't count as a boss, he's more of a sponge. You'll see soon enough. Although, on the subject of cool strats, this is Steam Lord, and again, Hyperball is a very cool thing and people should use it more. So I don't think a lot of people use this strat casually, but it's a very good strat and they probably should have. And he's dead. So yes, Hyperball. It's good shit.
That better?
Yeah, that's good.
Excellent. Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Morning.
Just crawled out of the igloo and checked on the Great Canadian Moose. Everything's still there and okay.
Nice to hear.
I don't know. I've done one attempted run of hyper mode and it was terrible and I don't remember much about it. The hyper mode is hard. But I got like so many E-tanks in that run, so I don't know exactly how many it took. So again, going back to using hyper mode on rails, like, these guys don't even cause a problem anymore. Like, who needs to aim when you have a plus button? Like, you know. Also, letting go of the rails slightly before the end is a bit faster because you drop off instead of having the long dismount animation. So we're on our way to get boost ball now, and then things will speed up quite significantly once we have access to that. And Jealous, did you set the echo effect to multi-channel? Because it's still happening a little bit.
Let me go take a look.
The Aurora unit
Alright.
chamber has been sealed off and
It's just like in the audio input settings. Multi-channel seems to work best.
Applied.
Haha,
Okay.
that's a bit better.
Yeah, it seems to be working.
Yeah, you might need to turn your mic up a little bit, but it shouldn't echo anymore.
Yeah, at least it's not activating automatically anymore.
Yeah. So obviously just like sniping that door a little bit before you get to the platform, loads it in time so it's active when you get there. Hyperball is fun. Like, these robots are pretty fun to fight because they don't do anything and they give you decent drops. So it's worth it just for the health. You can make a profit on health now. Also, you know, continuing the theme of completely ignoring everything the Aurora unit says. If you guys like knowing where expansions are, well, you probably didn't know this one was here. This is a very well hidden missile, but it's very useful as well. And this is where I get to practice my spring ball technique for a few minutes.
Spring ball, best ball.
It's actually pretty good. But it's slightly faster than spring ball up that slope than it is to walk for some reason. Don't question it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna shoot that door from here so it will load by the time I get there and I don't have to wait for the door to open. Because although like the door remains like shut until until a room opens and then the door times out and closes itself. But if the door is loading, it will remain shut until it opens for the first time. Like the door won't time out. So you can shoot a door from far away and it will open as soon as you get there. And yes, that is where you get a stylish kill friend token if you're playing the game for the first time. Again, because this is a new game plus file, that friend token's already been obtained on this file. A little bit of just sniping here to get rid of some annoying things for later. I missed. Nice, good job. So, one thing to kind of note about Hyper Beam is that it's very good for single shots, like it's accurate and it goes a long way. But if you try and charge, it takes on like kind of wave beam properties from Prive 1. Like it has oscillating kind of projectiles which don't hit directly where you're aiming, but slightly around it. So if you're trying to snipe things, doing a charge shot isn't the best idea. I fell down by accident, water juice, it wasn't intentional.
Everything's intentional though. Don't let them.
It's RNG manipulation. That's the excuse, right?
That's the
That's what
easiest,
speedrunners say.
That's the easiest excuse whenever I fail anything.
So yeah, those shrink bats are annoying because they can knock you off grapple swings, especially if you're between grapple swings. Getting hit in midair completely cancels all your momentum, even in hyper mode, even though you don't take damage from it. So I really don't want to be hit by those bats in midair. So I just kill them just to like make sure that doesn't happen. There's a small kind of optimization here which is patched in PAL, funnily enough. After you hit this switch, you can roll onto this platform if you do it fast enough. Got it. So you can roll onto this and then you can just kind of chill out on the platform while it's spinning around. They actually put an invisible wall on that kind of bridge of PAL, so you can't get on it until they stop moving for like no reason. Let's grab some health here for the upcoming fight. We skip Hazard Shield in this run, but pretty much every other major upgrade is obtained. Okay, so this is Defense Drone. This fight is kind of annoying. So the basic premise of the fight is that you hit the targets on the back of him, grapple him open, and then deal damage to his core. The actual fight itself will normally go for 2 rounds, on average. If you are very lucky and skilled, you can get a 1 round, but only one or two people have ever got that. I've never gotten it. My best is a pretty safe 2 round. If I don't do enough damage, it's going to take me a 3rd round, and I don't want that to happen because it's slow, obviously. But basically just aiming at this guy is just a pain. Because it's a very small part of that actual kind of holographic thing that shoots out of him, whatever you want to call it. That's actually like got a hitbox, and the rest of it just doesn't do anything. But he does drop a lot of health, and I do want health for the upcoming section, so I can refill here pretty nicely. So now we get Boost Ball, which is great, but unfortunately we also get Boost Locks, which are terrible. So instead of just having the normal Boost Locks like they do in the other games, you get these kind of things, which are like you have to keep spinning around them for like ages until they unlock, and they're like tedious, and ugh, they're just nasty. These things are not something I enjoy very much. But now we have Hyper Ball and Boost Ball, so we can do stuff like this. Oh, no we can't, because I'm bad. Never mind, we can't do stuff like that. Ignore me. That was completely intended. Accidentally cancelled my Hyper Mode. So you can do stuff like this. This is what I was trying to show. So you can just kind of go around in Boost Ball, Hyper Mode when you need to, and then Hyper Ball to open doors. A little optimization here. Yeah. Drop down and unmorph in midair, and you land on a very tiny ledge at the bottom. Save some time. Don't hit me. Okay, cool. However, there is like a decent amount of optimization you can do with these boost locks in terms of timing your boost to like not spend as much time after you've actually finished the boost lock before you exit it, because the exit's always at a fixed point, so you can kind of mess with your boost timing to always get in that. And then when you spring out of it, you can also string straight into the center for the most part. So there's like a little bit of optimization you can do with them. They're just not very fun to do sometimes. Not sure if the RTMP thing messed up or something.
I don't think so. Like it's working fine for me.
Okay. Is there any? Oh wow! I totally pressed the right button then. Is there any way you can check the bitrate on it? It should be like 1200.
How? I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Don't worry. That's cool.
I'm just gonna try another browser there. I've been watching
Alright.
you guys through the through Twitch.
Yeah, sure. So this room at the moment is kind of annoying because you have power grip. I guess I didn't explain that, but yeah, you get power grip as well from the start, and there's a few kind of like grip ledges you can grab onto. It's only used a few times, like it's very much a gimmick. But you can actually skip the power grip in that room once you get Screw Attack. It's a pretty cool optimization. No, you don't take damage in hyper mode. And sometimes I go in hyper mode even when there isn't enemies for movement optimization purposes. It's usually because either something can deal damage to me and I don't want to take damage, or it's because I want to use hyper ball to try and open a door instead of using a bomb or a shot from unmorphing, which is just like movement optimization.
The Aurora unit is corrected.
So now I got like a little mini robot fight here. With Lola just kind of chilling in hyper mode and not really doing much in this section. I mean, at the moment this is just kind of plot stuff setting up for Gore, which is the next hunter boss that we're gonna do. It's kind of bad that I need the toilet right now. It's like, I'm not even halfway through the run. I drank too much coffee this morning.
Are there any decent sized breaks where you?
Nope.
Nope. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I could just watch a cutscene or something. Nah, I'll be fine.
It's a speedrunner's problem when we're always trying to time our bathroom breaks and such around our runs.
I mean, this isn't even too bad for me. Like, a 3.5 hour run is like pretty low amount of time for me.
I don't know, man. 2.5 hours, another M for me, and I'm like, oh, I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Dude, I do like 6 hour runs like every fucking
Oh
day.
my god. It's like, you guys watch the credits. I'll be back. Peace.
Yeah, at least that's the thing in Overrun that you can do if you want to.
Thank God.
I don't really have anything in my games, but they're also not that long. So
It's like your longest category is like an hour 30. Like, stop complaining. You're such a
Dude.
pussy.
Dude, Fusion 100% is like 2 hours. Horrible.
Please, you don't
So
even
long.
run Fusion.
I used to.
Good excuse, good
You
excuse.
used to,
I-
so you don't.
I still have like 6th
Present
place on
tense
the
Dragon
league.
Bangs.
Dude,
Come on.
I'm still like top 5 in that game. I've been played for years.
That doesn't really mean much.
Yo.
Shots fired.
Please
Man
tell me
down.
how many people have run 100% in Fusion.
I
Like,
don't
any
know.
percent, sure, like, top 5's the legit, but like, 100%? Like, I can name like 2 people who've done runs that aren't you. And that's like
Yeah,
Kadoom and Kirby, and I don't know anyone else who runs Hundo, like, at all, ever.
Unknown entity approaching.
It's Fight is Break too.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. That was an obvious one, I should have realized it.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean, I'm only
So
2
that's
minutes
3
away from
people, so
winning.
who else is in the top 5 Dragon Packs, please?
Let me check the leaderboard.
Jump. You're calling me out for not knowing people, please.
I don't remember. It's been a while ago.
Yeah, once you get corrupted in hyper mode, the bar keeps going up, but it's really easy to empty the bar. As long as you use single shots instead of trying to use a charge shot, you're always fine, because you get better phase on per second usage.
Secret key too. See, I told you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Totally 5 people.
You forgot secret key, how'd you feel?
I didn't forget secret key. I just forgot that he ran 100% too.
Ah.
I mean, I'm faster than JRP. It's all that matters.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the hyper mode users in this run will be in short bursts to avoid getting corrupted. But for most boss strats, it actually works out better to get corrupted because it means we get much more phase on to be able to use during the fight, which is obviously a lot more helpful because it does more damage. JFE did 100.
He started fairly recently, and
Okay.
he doesn't have that good of a time. I say he has like a 109, 108, 108. So
Oh, it's a fucking shit time, god.
he's like 1 minute behind me. It's not that good.
He's bad by JRP standards.
Yeah. He's getting there.
Oh shit, I fucked up. Ha! Well, I looked away from the screen. That was a good decision. I have not done that in a run for such a long time. The only time I did that in a run before was intentionally because I went the wrong way and I wanted to get off the grapple swing. Ah, I'm so tired right now.
What time did you end up getting up, man?
4:30. Like 5.5 hours ago now.
Ship priority status alert.
Oh wow.
I got like 3 hours sleep.
Armageddon is critical.
Dude.
That's fine. Dude, are you doing anything tomorrow, or do you get to sleep?
I get to sleep, but I have to stay up until 2 AM.
I mean, you can do that. It's fine.
Just reading back all the stuff from the Skype chat overnight, I'm like, oh my god, I don't think he slept, dude.
No, I was like initially mad because like JRP phoned me to tell me that like Metroid 177 wasn't there even though it was like 20 minutes to go to his run. But then like it turned out like everything in terms of Mumble just fucking died within like 20 minutes of each other. Like we had to set up a second Mumble server to be able to do commentary for Prime 2. Like everything
Whoa.
just went completely wrong. Like so JRP made a good call. Because then he was like, I feel bad for waking you up, and it's like, you shouldn't, because if you hadn't have done, things would have gone a lot worse. Oh wow, really? Are you serious? I didn't... okay. So Gore is like a kind of annoying fight. You can pretty much one-cycle every phase, but it takes really good luck and good execution, which I apparently don't have today. Like, final phase is really easy, but the other two phases, like, especially the second phase, should be really trivial to one-cycle, and I failed it. I was, like, just off, though. You use Hyperball to affect, like, to hit the thing at the bottom. Do people just not use Hyperball casually?
Wait, even I use Hyperball there. That's
like, that's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Why is it so useful? The funny thing is, it really isn't. Like... Hyperball really isn't that great for like general enemies. It just has a couple of specific uses on bosses that it's helpful for. Yeah, you get like 5 or 6 seconds to empty the bar after it fills. You get like loads of time. It's way more than enough time.
Dying from corruption pretty much never happened to me casually.
Well, it's pretty hard once you're off Brio. I mean, because you can empty it really quickly with Hyperball.
Right.
On higher difficulties on Brio, you can get kind of messed around a bit sometimes, because if that starts filling up and you don't have Hyperball, it becomes pretty hard to empty it in certain cases. Especially if you're like stuck in a Morphal tunnel or something, then you're kind of dead. So yeah, Boost Ball and Hyperball is pretty great for movement. I mean, it's kind of going through Elysia a lot quicker. If I stopped bonking into walls, it would anyway. So now that we have Plasma Beam, we can actually unlock this shortcut here. So you don't have to go all the way back to... Oh god, I found it. You don't have to go all the way back the long way. It's fine. Exclamation mark, I fell down. Also, just kind of like a small fun thing here is that you can unmorph as soon as you hit the target, so you can just kind of do a front flip in midair. I missed the swag backflip earlier. I was upset. Like in Brio, there's a certain like morphal thing that shoots you out of it vertically, and if you time your unmorph at the right time, if you get it like it's like a 2-frame window to get an instant unmorph, and then like a few frames after that, Samus just does like the most enormous backflip in midair. It's so great. So now we're back at the Aurora unit and we have Plasma, and we get to introduce probably one of the more interesting gimmicks in this game, which is the welding. I'm still not sure how I feel about welding. Like, it's a pretty cool idea, but it's kind of badly implemented in some ways.
I don't know, you know, if you fail any part of it, as you start from the beginning.
Yeah, especially like some of the more complicated ones. They could have done with like partial welds or something. Checkpoints almost. Oh my god, can I thank you? That was disgusting. Oh, I almost soft-locked it. I almost soft-locked. I almost... Okay, so fun fact, if you go...
Professional welder, Maelstrom.
If you go into that elevator on NTSC when it's about to go up and the cutscene plays, you soft-lock.
Nice.
The elevator just, like, the game won't let you move the elevator in the cutscene because you're on the elevator wants to move, and then it just breaks the elevator and you're stuck there indefinitely. It's fixed on PAL. And if you actually go into it on PAL, you'll actually, like, the elevator will take you up and you'll be able to roll away straight away, like, after the cutscene. So it's kind of one of those weird things. The thing is with the welding, like, once you get the hang of it, like, a lot of them you can do pretty quickly. There's like, there's a couple later on that you can do really fast, but they take really precise movements. Like, even the more complicated ones, like, there's a decent amount of tolerance so that way you can kind of go around and it still connects, so as long as you're drawing, like, roughly the right shape on the screen, it'll let you get away with it. Like, the straight line ones are almost more kind of strict in terms of how you use the pointer.
But I think a lot of people when playing casually just kind of assume there will be some penalty for going too quickly, because, you know, that's how actual welding works.
It's a video game. Come on, real life doesn't play into it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, small. Oh, never mind. Okay, this is gonna be kind of weird. I got the instant load on that door, which sounds like it should be a good thing, but it actually means that there's a chance the door could unload while I'm doing that lock. Okay. But basically, the idea is to trigger that door, and then it sets the door into like the opening state. So if it forces the load to start if it hasn't already, and that load is just long enough to do that twist lock and get back to the door in time. But because it loaded early, there was a slight chance it could unload the room when I go back to the twist lock, which is just all kinds of dumb. Luckily it didn't. So now we have the second landing site in Elysia. Just unlocked it now. And it doesn't really do much for now. We're actually just gonna fly back to Rio and pick up Screw Attack, which is a very cool upgrade because you get it really early on in this game as compared to like the other games. And Screw Attack's a lot of fun. And it actually opens up quite a few interesting kind of tricks and sequence breaks. Yeah, straight up Trilogy Prime 3 loads the same, if not slower. But Wii U VC Trilogy loads a lot faster than the Wii version, because it's loading from a hard drive instead of a disc. However, it's worse because they fixed all the breaks in it, so it still works out slower for speedruns. Yeah, Screw Attack is used on a few fights in this game like it is on Prime 2. It's almost not as useful as it is in Prime 2 because we have Hyper Mode, and you know, Hyper Mode's kind of OP, but then there's a couple of fights where Screw Attack will be used almost exclusively, and it destroys certain things. Trying to keep it spoiler free. No one talk about that fight, if you know what I'm talking about.
I won't talk about any fight because I'm not sure which fight you're referring to.
That also works. Again, doing that kind of small standable spot if this Triticus ever gets out of the way. Just to kind of skip the grapple puzzle again. You only actually have to do that twice in any percent, so even if you fail it once, you're still saving time. In 100%, you do it a few more times, so it actually works out slightly better that if you... Like, once you fail it 3 times, you're losing time over doing the puzzle. So you have to be pretty good at doing that trick. Oh shit. God damn it.
Aww.
Yeah, it's really kind of like this game gives you so many missiles, but the thing is, like, missiles get so outclassed by Hyper Mode, and Hyper missiles are pretty useless. Well, they're not useless, they're really good, but the issue is that you burn through Hyper much faster than you burn through missiles. So you're always going to have way too many missiles. Cool little puzzle here with this golem. I quite enjoy this puzzle. I mean, obviously, no solution. It's just like a interesting kind of setup. I think it's a cool room. I mean, it's just a boost lock. Like, it's nothing special, but I don't know. I think it's interesting. Fendrana height, yeah, pretty much. So, fun fact: if we could actually get through this room and back out of it without Plasma Beam, we could get Screw Attack in the first trip to Brio, and that would save so much time. That would be ridiculous. Because that would actually let us kind of get to a few places early in Elysia and do some interesting stuff later on. But unfortunately, it soft locks at the moment if you get into the portal because you can't get back out because you don't have Plasma. Or boost, and you can't solve the puzzle without boost. Here's another kind of interesting boost lock optimization. I'm gonna bomb the door and then do the boost lock. And if I do it correctly, then the door opens, and I have just enough time to finish the boost lock and get through the door before it will close on its own. Nice. And now we have Screw Attack.
Hey.
And now we're gonna go back the way we came, because it's faster. Like, the other rooms in this area don't really have much in them. There's 2 expansions, like a E-Tank and a Ship Missile expansion. But they're not needed in any percent, and in in 100% there's actually a pretty interesting trick at the top of the room with the energy tank in it, which is called Tower, for getting the energy tank without Spider Ball, which cuts out having to backtrack to this room in 100%. Again, that's something that's fixed on PAL, but it's possible on NTSC, but even on NTSC it's really fucking hard. Yes, I am physically dying. If anything's gonna die, it's gonna be my Wiimote battery. I have no idea how charged it is.
Oh, exciting.
Battery RNG! Yeah, exactly what my speed game needs. I'm sure Angelis can attest to that.
Oh god.
The pleasure of running Wii games, or games with any kind of wireless controller that doesn't have a way to charge it.
You know, we spent I don't know how many times I've been like, and I don't want to endorse any battery company or anything like this, but you know, Energizer batteries, or you know, your run-of-the-mill AA's or whatever.
Yeah.
And you do like 2 or 3 runs, and then the remote's like crying out to you, please change me.
And then you get some runs, like some batteries that just last for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Like
I'm on this new kick with these Energizer advanced lithium batteries, and they'll do like 60, 70, 80 hours of gameplay. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing about the Wiimote is probably like the low battery indicators really early. Like, I've done 10-hour runs starting when the battery indicator has been like on 1 and it's still lasted. Like,
It'll do it. It'll
Pretty
definitely do it. But it's like that little blinky thing in the corner is like, hey, guess what time it is?
yeah. Well, it's worse because it's like Galaxy 2. So then, like, the fucking little ship guy keeps telling you to change your fucking batteries as well. It's like, I know, piss off. I'm trying to speak it. Okay.
It's like the Microsoft clip.
Yeah. I didn't get it. Okay. There's like there's these elevator rooms, and we visit this one twice and another one once. And there's a small like SSJ into screw attack you can do to skip the elevator, which saves like 2 seconds, but looks really fucking cool. I want to get it at least once, but I probably won't because it's hard.
I'm gonna be that guy and ask, what's an SSJ?
Oh my god. Let's explain it again. So SSJ is like it's a spring space jump. So in Prime 1 and Prime 2 there's something called a bomb space jump, which is where you do a bomb jump and then unmorph near a wall, and the game doesn't play the unmorph animation, and it's called an instant unmorph. And then for a few frames after an instant unmorph, the game thinks you're on the ground, so you can jump again in midair, which gives you an extra jump worth of height. And then in Prime 3, you can't really do it with bomb jumps as well, but you can do it with the spring ball. So then the SSJ is a spring space jump. And you can technically do like an SBSJ, which is a spring bomb space jump, but they're like impossible and have like a tiny frame window, and they're helpful in like 2 places. Mainly for getting out of bounds. So, we're about to get into East Elysia. So everyone who said Elysia is boring, you're now incorrect. This is the cool part of Elysia. This is the part of Elysia where all the shit goes down. Especially now that I get to run NTSC, so I get to skip a boss, which is also cool.
Only a speedrunner would ever say, oh, I get to play less of the game, yay!
It's fine, I'm not gonna fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep in Elysia, so I think we're good. I'm gonna make it through to the end of the run now. I don't know, I can fall asleep on Valhalla, I guess. It's like 8 minutes of loading. Right, so this is where the tricks are gonna be coming pretty fast. I'm gonna try and explain what's going on, but there's lots of stuff happening at once. So just kind of hyper mode these pirates, get rid of them, and then SSJ up here. Oh, I didn't get it. So you can boost through that gate, and if you do it fast enough, the camera kind of desyncs from the morph wall, which traps the camera behind the wall, which then gives you an instant unmorph. So you can instant unmorph and shoot that gate, which saves a little bit of time. Here with these bomb slots, you can kind of hug up against the wall and not have to like jump back into them. Which just saves like a little bit of time. I slept for like 3 hours, don't worry. Here, just using Hyper Ball to open the door, because it opens instantly with Hyper Ball for some reason. Screw attack here, I'm going to aim at this point to try and kill the Space Pirate. Nice. Oh, he didn't die? Wow, what a guy. Okay, this next room is called Observatory, I think. Or is it just Observatory? I don't know. But there's a trick here called Reverse Observatory. Which is where we're going to... So normally you would go out the bottom like the bottom door to this room. Oh nice, he got stuck in the wall. But using a sequence of 2 pretty tricky SSJs, we can do the route backwards, which skips about half of East Alicia. And some really slow and obnoxious rooms. There we go, nice, first try. Easy peasy. Ooh, I almost whiffed that screw attack. Okay, that would have been bad. This next room again has a lot of like SSJ optimization, because it's a lot of convenient walls and gaps that are just too high enough, just too high for screw attack, but high enough to get an extra jump height to clear them. For some reason that big thing explodes when you go near it with screw attack, but the little one doesn't. I think the hitbox is just slightly disjointed. This next room I'm about to go into will become of relevance later. So in this room, this is actually where certain things spawns later. We'll come back to this room, and you'll notice I just dropped down into the room below. We'll use that fact again later for a sequence break to not only skip a backtrack through Alicia, but we also get to skip a boss because of it. I'll explain a little bit more in a moment. Screw attack across there. Now we get bowling. This is probably one of the more fun rooms in the game. 3 sets, let's go for strike. Whoops, I messed up. Yeah, okay, so the issue with this is that bots can go hyper mode and pretty much wreck you. They're a bit strong. Like, see, I would go in hyper mode there just to make sure I don't get like knocked off, because you don't take damage, so you don't get knocked back when in hyper mode. But obviously, there's the risk of getting corrupted when the bots go hyper mode, because hyper mode damage, like hyper enemy damage, adds to the kind of corruption counter, so you get corrupted faster. And now we're at the other end of East Alicia, and this is where we get the ship grapple, which is then used to do the kind of side quest in this area to get to the seed, which is compiling the Theronian bomb, which is made of 3 components, one of which was in that room I mentioned that would become relevant earlier, one of which is in a room we haven't one of which was in the very first room of East Alicia that I like Spring Space jumped up from, and the third one is actually back in West Alicia somewhere else. We've actually seen it already, but unless you know where it is, you probably didn't notice it. We also get Seeker missiles pretty soon, which are not very fun. And yeah, this is like the 3rd grapple expansion we've got, and there's still 2 left. There's a lot of grapple in this game. I didn't get it again. The next boss, if you were playing casually, would be Berserker Lord 2, but we skip him. So the next boss after that will be, well, Spire Sequence isn't really a boss, so it's technically Helios. Although Helios really isn't a boss either.
Seeker missiles.
Yeah, the next boss is Seeker Missiles. Well, getting Seeker Missiles isn't hard, and using Seeker Missiles is the hard bit. Okay, so now we're going back into this room we dropped down into earlier, and the geometry in this room is set up in such a way that we can actually pretty much climb back up the room, and then, so we just kind of do this to get up onto this ledge, and then, whoops, by doing another SSJ we can get up onto this kind of platform here, and then by poking our head through the ceiling, it manipulates the game's Terminal 4 trigger to think we're in the top room. And now these boost locks are active because this room layer triggers when you have ship grapple, but doesn't actually check to see if you've activated the boss fight, which is normally in this room, which I will do in a moment. Hopefully it doesn't, well, I don't know if I will do it, because I think it soft locks if it does it when I want to do it, so I won't do it. But normally this room you would fight the Berserker Lord in, but because we never actually cross the trigger at the entrance, we never activate the Berserker Lord fight. And so we can just carry on. In PAL they unfortunately fixed that. The boost slots don't activate until after you've beaten the Berserker Lord, which is, you know, the sensible way to go about it. And so you actually have to fight him in Power Run, which takes about 2 minutes.
They fix everything in PAL.
No, they really didn't. Like, they really did not fix everything. They fixed, like, nothing.
It's just like some of the skips are gone.
Like, okay, so it's like, there's 2.5 minutes of time save. that NTSC has over PAL. That counts for 2 minutes of it, and 30 seconds of it is some weird damage glitch thing that doesn't make sense, but it only exists in NTSC, and it's like right near the end of the game. Like pretty much everything else is intact in PAL. In fact, in PAL, it doesn't have a rotating kind of thing in that room. This is called Swag Attack. Let's see if I get it. No, fail.
No swag.
Got it. So instead of using the power grip morphle tunnel at the top, it's actually about 5 seconds faster and looks really cool to just screw attack through that room. So yeah, but then yeah, so that rotating like whatever you want to call it gate in the previous room called Pistol Hall, it doesn't exist in PAL because 2 days after the game was released, people started going accidentally out of bounds from there. And so they just completely removed it from the PAL release. And that actually cuts out like a theoretical time save in 100% from doing a wall crawl from that secret world entrance.
Oh, I was close.
It's fine. Pretty much. Activating the door early means it opens when I land on the platform, so that guy doesn't get in the way, because he takes ages to disintegrate. How obnoxious. Why can't he just be like... Yeah, I know, right? He's just in the way.
Disintegrate now, dang it.
Yeah. So now we get to use a technique called spring boosting a lot. So obviously boost ball lets you go fast, and spring ball makes you jump in midair. So you can boost and then spring ball a couple of frames after you let go of the boost, and you kind of fly through the air at boost speed, kind of like that, which lets you really get over uneven terrain very quickly. It's pretty weird to get off because spring ball isn't exactly necessarily consistent in when it activates in your swing. So I'm going to try and get a decent... Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Good job. Wait, am I going wrong? What the fuck am I?
Confusion.
I went...
Where are you?
I'm lost. I actually got lost. What? Okay, I was going the right way. I just went right instead of left. Okay, that was confusing. Good job, me.
Checking the map.
You're tired. It's okay. Everything's fine. Nothing is wrong.
Don't just make up excuses for him.
I know what it's like, man. I know what it's like. Gotta help a brother out.
It's fine. I don't know why I thought I had to go right there. I have no idea what happened. Okay, whatever. Moving on. So yeah, so there's a lot of spring boosting in this area because a lot of the floors are uneven, and if you hit an uneven floor with boost, it'll just put you back to normal morph speed, which is really not that great. Because, you know, we gotta go fast. Get in there. God damn it, Samus. Whoever just said Seekers are the strongest boss, you are absolutely correct. So now we have Seekers, and this is where things get quote-unquote fun. So, right, Seeker missiles are, you know, you hold the missile button, and then 5 missile targets appear, and you can shoot up to 5 things at once, except the targeting on Seeker missiles is absolute shite in this game. You don't even understand. Funnily enough, it's better on PAL. So people always used to complain about Seekers, and I always used to be, oh, they're not so bad, I guess I'm just used to them. And then I got my PAL disc, and oh my god. Like my TSE disc even. I know what I mean. Goddamn.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay, that makes sense, because I never thought they were that bad either.
Yeah, they're a lot worse than TSE. There's like specific setups for like every Seeker lock I have to do, otherwise they don't work. Like, it's pretty disgusting.
You gotta waggle just the right way, otherwise.
You gotta stand in like just the right position, or the game will just. I went the wrong way again. Okay.
And they had to make PAL slower, of course. If they just wouldn't have fixed like the Berserker skip, like people might have still just played
Is
PAL
War
anyway.
Unit 313 hard to beat? I'll tell you that the final boss rush takes less than 3 minutes, so that should answer your question. I'm not getting any spring boosts. There's a good one. So these first few Seeker targets in this area are actually okay. There's a couple in a moment that are a lot worse, and then there's a few more a little bit later on that are absolutely disgusting.
I assume Trilogy has like at least all the PAL fixes.
Yeah, Trilogy has PAL fixes plus some other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they removed SSJs, but they actually put BSJs back in, which was pretty special. And there's some other stuff, but a lot of the like sequence breaks are actually just like brute force fixed. Like the Brio, I think the Brio sequence breaks still exist. Like you can do the BSJ and get up there, but the grapple points never trigger until you like do the first anti-air turret.
Ah, retro.
At least they're trying, right?
I mean, I guess. they're like focusing on weird things.
They focus on the things that their bosses get shown,
Yeah,
get mad at because the game is broken.
I guess.
So remember, you might remember I said earlier that I want to make sure I have a lot of missiles. This is the reason. This is the area that I want the missiles for. Although like this is a missile expansion again, so now I have like 30 missiles. But these next Seeker targets take 12 missiles ultimately and have an incredibly high chance of failing. So, you know, anything less than like 25 missiles and bad things are going to happen. Especially since there's still another couple of Seeker targets I need to hit before I'm done with Alicia. And I want some missiles for the spy sequence as well. Okay, I actually got them all first try, that's nice. That rarely happens. Even in POW that rarely happens.
For all that complaining, Seekers haven't failed yet.
I know, they're actually being pretty nice. Mega Ridley's a lot later. There's like probably not an hour, but like 40 minutes until they Mega Ridley. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. A funny thing about Trilogy is in Prime 1 and Prime 2, normally when you like change the cannon and then charge it, like cool effects happen to it, like yeah, like the ice beam you charge and it gets thrusted over, the dark beam you charge and you get like dark effects all over it. They removed them from Trilogy because they couldn't tie the animations to the world model properly because you can freely move the arm cannon around.
What?
So they just removed the effects because they couldn't put the shaders in properly. Remember, Trilogy is a good game. It's actually like a decent casual experience. I just don't enjoy Trilogy for Prime 1 and Prime 2. Like, Prime 3 controls work for Prime 3, but no. Not for the other games. Okay, so now we have two components of the bomb. So we're gonna get the third one, which is, like I said, back in West Elysia. I'm running out of tea.
Oh no.
Now that's a tragedy right there.
It's not like I don't have anything else to drink in my room, and my voice is dying. So that could be an issue. We'll be fine. So like I mentioned earlier, once you get screw attack, there's a cool trick you can do in this room just to get the power grip. You just kind of jump and screw attack over it. No you don't, never mind, I fell down. Good job. That's totally what was meant to happen. That was what was meant to happen, there you go. That is like a very... It's actually a surprisingly precise screw attack. But normally it doesn't cause me an issue. Yeah, someone else got it covered, nice. So yeah, so obviously I used 12 missiles earlier, there's another 4 missiles here, and then another 5 in the next place. So, you know, that would actually be 21 missiles, so I'd need 25 missiles minimum without drops to guarantee being able to even complete all these Seeker targets. And yeah, there's not even a guarantee that you'll get them all first try anyway. Which is why I like to get 30 missile expansion just for the safety. Funnily enough, in East Elysia you can actually do things in the opposite order. You can get Seeker missiles before doing ship grapple and the bomb component. It works out, unfortunately, slightly slower than 80%, but it's a really cool sequence of tricks to get reverse Seeker missiles.
Excellent work. Excellent work, Samus. The Therodian bomb is complete.
So now we're just going back to the Spire Pod to dump the bomb to... So we go... Right, okay, so we get the third component, then we go past the Aurora unit to the Spire Pod to dump the bomb, to go back to the Aurora unit to tell us to go back to the Spire Pod. This game has like great flow and side quests.
Oh wow.
I mean, it doesn't feel as bad when you're watching all the cutscenes and like reading all the dialogue and everything, but in a speedrun, it's a lot more noticeable.
They put purpose to it in the story, but we're like, you know, if you were looking at the flowchart on the wall while they were sitting there going,
God
so this
damn it,
is what they're gonna make them do.
Okay, I fucked up. It's fine. So I just kind of jumped backwards slightly there. I missed it. To try and morph right on the morph ball cannon.
Return to the AU chamber so that we can discuss the final stage of our
We use screw attack. I really love that optimization. Like, it's really fun. It's pretty nice as well, because if you do it perfectly, there's actually like you'll land on the ledge behind the ledge you jump over for like a couple of frames, and then it'll start the animation early, so you'll land standing up, like skip the unscrew attack animation at the end. So like it's got even more like subtle stuff to it than just screw attacking you over a ledge. Okay, so now we have the spire sequence, which is, I mean, people probably like to say this is an auto-scroller, but it actually doesn't auto-scroll. It's actually trigger-based for each wave. So like, so you have to kill certain enemies to get the next wave to spawn.
And by trigger-based, you mean abusable.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to wait forever and wait for enemies to spawn. You can actively preempt them spawning because they always spawn in the same place, and killing certain enemies is what triggers the continuation. Hello? Can you not skip this cutscene? I always get confused. I'm sure you can skip that cutscene sometimes. This is one of the few bits of dialogue we actually have to mash through, because it doesn't do anything until you mash through it. And, okay, so the general idea is that there's 3 different, like, gunship things that appear, and killing all 3 of those is what triggers the end of the sequence. This first one is a dick, because he spawns over here, but he actually isn't. You can damage him down to, like, 1 HP, but you can't actually kill him until he moves to his 3rd location. And this is probably the closest bit to an auto-scroll in this section, as we have to wait for this guy. So I can just, like, mash plasma beam at him just to make sure he moves on, but you can't actually kill. You can deal infinite damage to him, and he won't die until he gets to the spot and starts doing his attack. Lots of like entering and leaving hyper mode just to make sure I don't get corrupted, because I don't want to be corrupted. There's a lot of health drops in this section, so health isn't too much of an issue, and the corruption is more obnoxious. Trying to snipe this gunship early, go across, hit the other gunship here. Oh, missed it. Okay, you can actually kill that gunship before these soldiers spawn. Saves a little bit of time. Like, it doesn't really matter too much, and you actually get better drops from letting the soldiers spawn, but it's just a little bit faster to deal with. This is the second one of the ships you have to kill to progress. And now the 3rd one just takes a while to spawn, so just chilling out for a little bit. Like, more soldiers spawn, but you can just completely ignore them. Like, they're not needed at all. I'm pretty sure this guy stops over here. Yep. And that's the end of that. Easy peasy. So now it's like very cliche. Okay, you're about to do something very bad. Oh no, something went wrong. You better do something on a time limit, because otherwise you might die.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Escape pod malfunction. Entering repair access tunnel. I might play this game a lot and know the dialogue by now.
That happens.
But the fun thing about this is we get more welding! Yes! These welds are actually fun. I enjoy doing these welds. This is like a fun little section to optimize. Oh god, my pointer. No, bad. No, it's not happening. What? Hello. My sensor bar is being terrible in like the upper left corner of my screen today, and I don't know why. I'm messing this up. Oh my god, please. Okay, we're not going for speed strats anymore. I can't do speed strats today. I got the second one okay, but the first one and the last one were terrible.
I'm just getting to see it now. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, the full Flagret audio track exists on the NTSC disc, but the loop point is broken, so the sound doesn't loop. It's the full music track, it's just the music track is only like a minute long. It just loops on PAL. We're definitely not Bahamut, don't worry. Helios should convince you of that. Okay, so that's Elysia pretty much almost done. Now we just have the seed boss, which is Helios, and the real seed boss, which is the Seeker missile targets before Helios. I keep making reference to this, but it's so true. Like, you don't even understand how bad they are.
You're gonna get the first try now.
Oh yeah, I know. Like, I have pretty consistent setups at this point. But like, my first few runs on NTSC, I had no idea what I was doing. Even on PAL, actually, they suck. Like, there's very specific regions you have to stand in to pretty much like guarantee that they work. And even then, it's not even a guarantee. Okay, so I did something weird in my run the other day, and I wonder if I'm gonna get it again. I didn't get it. So, in my run the other day, I set up to do a screw attack after that cutscene, and then when I did the screw attack, and I warped somewhere completely different and screw attacked like straight into the Terminal 4 trigger. I have no idea what happened. But I think I need to look into it because it might lead to something. Because it possibly could be an easier way to do LSA. The only issue is that you'd only get one chance at it because once the ship is down, you can't make the ship re-land. But it was interesting. No, JRP slept since Prime 2. He was up for Hunters. He was up for before Prime 2. Okay, Seeker missiles, please don't troll me today. This isn't gonna work. Oh, it did. Wow. Okay, I was not expecting that. So normally you get a pretty good idea if it's gonna work or not because all the targets will either like activate immediately or there'll be like one that just doesn't want to trigger. And because that last one didn't trigger, I got very scared. Okay, so Helios. So people might remember Helios as being kind of obnoxious.
Have you even missed Seekers once this run?
No. So Helios is a great boss and really well balanced and really difficult to kill and not easy to completely cheese at all. If you don't know what you're doing. Unfortunately, this is a speedrun and going slow is boring. So Helios kind of does this thing and he goes up into the air and then you knock him back down again, and normally he'd do an attack, but we knock him back down again so fast that he doesn't have time to set up for his attack, and you can just straight up loop him. So yeah, Helios is a really hard fight. Yeah, I got it again, nice. 2 for 2. So yeah, that was technically a boss, but honestly the Seeker missile targets are harder. Okay, yeah, I'm having real issues with the top of my screen, which is kind of not so great right now. It's weird, why is that happening?
Weird sunlight issues?
Huh?
Like, I don't know how your room looks, but like, the sensor bar, you know the sensor bar
It shouldn't be sunlight issues, like the curtain behind my sensor bar is closed. I don't know why it's being... It's only at the top of the screen as well. I think like my sensor bar might just be on a bit of a tilt or something. Because it's just like held on top of my TV with blue tack, so...
Because the sensor bar is just 2 LEDs. So,
it's just 2 IR LEDs, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, any sort of, like, a lot of light sources will confuse the wind.
It might just be I'm holding my Wiimote too low or something, so it's cutting out a bit.
Hey, so long as we don't have to revert to candle percent.
Okay, yeah, so we're on to the Pirate Homeworld now, which is the last world. Well, it's not. Okay. It's the third world. I should be careful with what I'm saying. It's the third world, the fourth main world of the game. God damn it, it's the fourth. Norian counts. Okay. It's the next planet. There we go. That's a correct sentence. Okay. And it's the final of the 3 kind of major planets that have seed bosses. And the hunter for this planet is Gandroida. And Gandroida is a thing. We'll talk about Gandroida later. We got time. I don't have to think about it yet. But yeah, the Pirate Homeworld has like the best plot hole. It's just like, it's the base of all space pirates in the galaxy, and you casually just fly in there.
Yeah, it's like...
And nobody notices you whatsoever.
Oh, hi
not-
guys!
It's like not even anything, you just straight up fly there and land in their port. It's like, okay.
Like, they're clearly all getting drunk or asleep.
It's all thanks to Gandrina.
She brings back all the space booze, keeps them under control.
Yeah, Pirate Homeworld is like a really fun area. Okay, I'm gonna do like a little trick here just to kind of skip the power grab. It doesn't actually. Oh, no, no. It doesn't save any time, but it looks fun, and I like doing it. Fuck power grip.
Alright, I think I saw you find this trick.
Yep, I did it by accident at ESA in practice. It doesn't even save any time. It's just like fuck power grip. Dark Samus is pretty cool. She has good music. It's a fun fight.
Samus, Gandroida's communication capsule has revealed additional information.
Aurora Unit, no one's listening to you, please shut up.
We believe that the gate in this
Okay, smash through that, hopefully it disappears by the time I get to X-Ray. Actually it should, because there's no more cutscenes before X-Ray, so it should actually time out on its own. So yeah, at the moment we're just kind of getting towards X-Ray Visor. And again, this area has some cool tricks in 100% that I'm not going to show because this isn't 100%. I keep mentioning all these cool things that I'm not doing.
Maybe you should have done 100% instead.
Nah.
No.
How long is that run?
5 hours almost. It's like
sounds
440.
crunchy.
My PB is like 440 and it's bad, and I don't like doing 100 because it's so long. I know it takes too long. So X-Ray Visor is cool because we get access to these like combination lock things, which are like really fun, and the game cheats. So people have been like looking into the source code of all 3 Prime games recently and stuff, and there's actually like an LUA script which manages how those locks are randomized, and the game straight up cheats. Like even if you guess the code, if you don't have X-Ray Visor, the game lets you guess 3 of the options and then randomizes the code again so that you're wrong. Like, the game cheats if you don't have X-Ray.
Dirty, dirty game.
Like, they knew that people were gonna try and exploit that shit.
Yeah, like, it makes sense.
It's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. But I mean, if you could do that without X-ray, it would be pretty horrible to speedrun because you just have to randomly guess
Oh, yeah.
every time. Skip it.
No, Other M takes place after Prime but before Fusion. It's after Prime, after Super, before Fusion.
It's after, yeah, it's between Super and
Because it's Metroid 1, Metroid 2, Prime Series, Super, Fusion, and then Other M is between Super and Fusion.
It's Prime Series 2 then Super.
Oh, it's 2 after Prime? Okay, fine.
Yeah. Super is right after 2, there's like no gap between them.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course, yeah, okay. Duh. that makes a lot more sense.
I got the baby. Where'd the baby go? Oh god, the baby's dead.
I got the baby. I went to kill
Oh
some
god, the
pirates.
baby's dead. Okay, I saved some animals instead. Oh god, the animals are dead.
Oh no.
So for the longest time, I actually thought you had to mash through the Federation Trooper text. Because I thought it messed with the landing site, but it turns out it actually doesn't.
Hunters is between Prime 1 and Prime 2.
Yep, and Pinball has no cannon placement because it's Prime.
Yeah, it's just Prime. Yeah.
Arrows used to indicate causality, not preference. Yeah, I'm with Crom. Like, you know, you destroy this thing like so many times, it just keeps coming back. Eventually, you're just gonna be like, "Fuck this shit."
Ridley, again! I killed him 4 times
God
already.
damn it,
God damn
Ridley,
it!
just fuck up. I mean, like, if you follow like Prime series as like true canon as well as everything else, you've beaten Ridley like 8 times by the time you get to other M. Like, that's gonna eventually wear thin.
I mean, in the manga, she does get like a freak out when you first encounter her, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
And they just wanted that moment in the game, but they decided to after Super for some reason. It's so weird.
Anyway. Small optimization there by boosting back into a tunnel. Oh wow, I didn't. Okay, never mind. Okay, I didn't get the small optimization. Normally by boosting back into the tunnel it flips the camera the right way around, but it didn't. So SSJ to skip a fight in this room doesn't actually skip it, it just moves it till later. And I'm bad with video games. How do I SSJ? Like, seriously. There we go. So now I have to wait for this robot, because if you go into a tunnel and you touch the robot while he's still active, he becomes solid, and you can't get past him, and the only way to get rid of him is to deload the room. So it wastes like a minute, because you have to ride the elevator back down and then back up. And I've done that before, and it's terrible. I don't want to ever do it again. Nice, I got the spring boost. That was a bit YOLO, I shouldn't have gone for that, but oh well, fuck it.
Guys, the timeline isn't that complicated.
Okay, this is the last world, and it's an S, and I can't do it, because my sensor bar is crapping out. Okay. Super safety strats. I took that way slower than I needed to, but it kept dropping my input to the top of the screen.
Casual welding.
Oh my god, no, get up there, thank you. So, not only am I having issues at the top of the screen, but that X-ray plate has weird kind of problems because it's not like properly aligned. Like the top 2 panels are like so much harder to hit than the rest of it for no reason whatsoever. It's so dumb. Oh my god, get up there. Is there any out of bounds in this run? Yes, there is actually an out of bounds. And singular out of bounds in this run. Okay. So then the pirates finally notice us and send some pirates to come catch us, and the game cheats again. So, normally in fights when there's like antennas, you can destroy the antennas and the space pirates never spawn, except because of the trick we did earlier to skip the fight in this room and go the back way around, that second antenna becomes invincible and you can't actually destroy it before the pirates spawn. So the pirates are forced to spawn, but luckily you don't have to kill the pirates to get out of the room, so it doesn't even matter. There is a fight later on where I will be trying to kill all the antennas to stop more pirates from spawning, because it makes the fight like 40 seconds slower and it makes this section after a lot sketchier because you have a lot less health. And I don't like doing that. I actually discovered like it's not really like optimization, but like a small thing you can do here is that this little trick I'm about to do with an SSJ actually works even when the space pirates are still in the room. It's kind of funny. You can actually like get the door load. Like I think you could possibly save some time if you start loading the door before the door locks come off, but yeah, it's a bit weird. Because I don't think the load trigger exists until after you beat them, but whatever. Okay, so this is a really cool use of screw attack. Like they really experimented with screw attack in this game, like because you get it so early. They do some more interesting things, and you get stuff like this, which is like not like your kind of standard screw attack wall, but it's pretty cool. It's like a really nice idea. Yeah, doing uptime on the stream wouldn't really work because we've had to cut it a couple of times because we had some issues. Okay, I'm actually gonna grab another health drop. I don't like this amount of health. Team viewer just crashed. Great. Luckily, I don't need to set up a run for a while.
Also, I've confirmed that I can't access RMTP from any machine in my entire household.
RTMP.
RTMP, my bad.
That's fine.
I keep saying that. Like it's a thing.
Well, RMTP makes more sense because it's remote transfer of media protocol instead of remote media transfer protocol. Like, it's named really stupid. Okay. Right, so this is... Okay, so we're about to do Gandrider, and Gandrider is a thing. So, Gandrider has 3 phases, and in each phase you can transform into any of 2 different... well, in the first 2 phases you can transform into 2 different enemies. The first phase is Berserker Lord and a flying space pirate. The second phase is actually Rundus and Gore, the hunters. And the third phase she turns into you. Now, hopefully I'll get a good Gandrider fight, which is the one fight where screw attack is incredibly helpful and lets you skip the transformations completely. But this fight is incredibly random and very hard to do well, so let's see what happens. I missed. I didn't do much damage. I missed again, I think. Yeah, I did. That wasn't good damage. Okay. Oh, the bats. I never normally see the bats because I never let the first phase go long enough, even when I mess it up. I did actually forget about them, you're right. Okay. Nice. Skip the transformations. Damn it. Gandrider, please. So I tried to set up for a quick kill. I don't think I've got it anymore. No, I didn't get it. If you do... Oh, I almost got it. I almost got the quick kill, you fucking serious? Wow. That's ridiculous. So on the final phase is the quick kill you can do, which is pretty much dependent on getting a certain pattern at the start and manipulating her movement to go straight away from you so you can screw attack alongside her. So because screw attack does damage when the screw attack hitbox is like in frame. Oh, it's like damage per frame when the screw attack hitbox is active. That makes sense, kind of. I'm mumbling. I'm messing up my... I know what I'm trying to say. Someone else explain this because I can't words right now.
I'm too busy
so it's like,
over bounty
I get it right, I'm gonna try again. So screw attack does damage per frame for all the time that you're intersecting screw attack with her hitbox. But if you bonk into her, the screw attack stops instantly. So you want to screw attack alongside her in the last phase, and then you can kill her in one consecutive screw attack. So that was a really good Gandrider fight. Like, that was really good. I'm so happy with that in a marathon run. It was sick. The thing is, like, most people probably haven't seen a bad fight, so... I don't know. But, yeah, if you played it casually, you know, that probably took like 1/8 of the time it took you.
And that's the thing with speedruns, is when you do these things, it looks like that was the way it was meant to do in a lot of cases, or that was the way it was meant to be done in a lot of cases, even though, you know, most people are looking at it for the first time. It's like, well, that was easy.
Yeah, those screw attacks are like really hard to pull off. I mean, if you look at my ESA run from last year, I didn't get it, and I got transformations in the second phase and had a bad third phase. So I mean, if you want an example of the fight done slightly less well, you can check out that run.
But in the meantime, this was awesome!
Yeah, that. Where am I going? Springball, spider, even. I know what I mean. Okay. I know what I'm doing. So now we're just popping back to Alicia for Spider Ball. You can actually skip Spider Ball, but it involves a really, really tricky out of bounds that I can't do. And it's really easy to mess it up as well, unfortunately. But I can point out where the out of bounds is and I can tell you how to do it, I just can't actually do it. So that's as good as an example as you're gonna get. Yes! I got it once, okay, I'm happy. This run is allowed to continue. I'm happy I got that at least once. Yeah, one maybe said play Zero Mission instead of 1 and actually want to play both. Like Zero Mission is a much better representation and a much better game.
Unit 217 has discovered evidence of hidden Chozo.
So this room is a cool room, for reasons that will be revealed shortly. Donald, Brandis was fought a long time ago. He's fought in Brio, to get ice missiles. The fight was probably like 45 minutes in or so, maybe 50. So going through the normal way, like, this room is pretty boring. On the way back, some pretty cool stuff's gonna happen. That's actually the room we're gonna go out of bounds in. And it's a very cool out of bounds. Okay, another Seeker Lock, let's see what happens. This one's usually pretty good actually. Yeah, these views.
Unit 217 has discovered evidence of hidden Chozo artifacts on site.
This was a good segment, actually. Nice. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a interesting section to get back. We have to do this outside section. It has a load of spider tracks on it. There's actually some pretty cool tricks. So like there, I just jumped over the barrier and dropped down below, which is so the spider track continues to cut off a bit there. Oh, whoops. Oh, okay. There's a trick here. I'm going to do a boost. Just boost across that gap. Nice and simple. So like, there's a lot of kind of abuse you can do with spider tracks in general. There's also a trick you can do to go out of bounds in that room, but it's not very useful. But it can let you get, it can be combined with another out of bounds to get Spider Ball before Hyper Grapple. Okay, so now we're gonna get out of bounds. So obviously we've had it explained a few times already, but games in the Prime series are like in boxes, and if you go out of the box then normal physics don't apply, and for most rooms in this game the boxes are absolutely enormous. Like wall crawling is pretty unfeasible because the bounding boxes of the actual rooms are huge. But this room has a bit of an oversight when it comes to the size of its box. So yeah, now I'm on the ceiling.
The best you can well, yeah.
It's so...
You kind of just jump out there.
It's not the best. There's a better one in this game. And now I can just drop down over here, and that saves a load of time doing a spider ball section. Unfortunately, that's the only real out of bounds in this run. There's no other viable secret worlds to be used in the any % route as yet. There's a lot of like hard stuff you can do, but it's ridiculously difficult, and I haven't got to the point where I've learned how to do it. Because it's just not needed for a good time. No one's pushed that game this far yet. This game that far yet. Words are hard. But yeah, it's a pretty cool secret world.
Thermal Day.
It's not the stupidest in the game, but it's pretty up there. The stupidest in the game is actually in Pirate Homeworld. There's a really obvious one that should not exist, but it does. I don't know if Dragon Fangs knows what I'm talking about.
I probably don't.
Okay.
That one on the
Metroid
Spiderball
Crash.
track. The one on the Spiderball track was the only one I knew of that was really dumb.
Okay. Well, depending on where we are after the run, I can probably show it off because I have a save in Pirate Homeworld. Depends where we are in terms of schedule. Where am I? That one. I always forget which landing site I need to fly to.
Yes, that's just part of the streaming setup.
Yeah.
The delay is gonna be there.
Yeah. My game audio will be slightly out of sync just because of how we're restreaming everything.
Yeah, because all the mumble audio is coming from a different computer than the actual game is playing on. There's gonna be a delay.
Yeah, so my commentary is probably going to be like a second ahead of
More like
the
4
game.
or 5. More like 4 or 5 seconds.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it also means the people commenting on the run will be more in sync with the run itself instead of being like a load behind.
Sure.
Which works out better. It's so bright outside. It's like 11 AM.
What is this mythical sunlight thing? I haven't...
What is this mythical 11 AM? There's a morning? Like, I thought that's just how long you stay up till. Like,
Morning
okay,
happens.
this pirate is being really obnoxious. Go away. Wow.
Morning happens when you wake
So,
up. Okay.
so at the moment we're like starting the hazard shield skip, and the first part involves standing in this safe spot to get this. So there's like a very tiny safe spot you can stand in from the acid rain, which prevents you from getting damaged, and you can't grapple voltage while being damaged. But in that safe spot, you can. And so you can hit the grapple voltage, which lets you get through to this next room. Then these rooms are a bit sketchy, because you have not necessarily like low health, but acid rain damage stacks, similar to how phase on damage stacks in the original Prime. So the longer you stay in it, the more damage it does. And the cutscenes spawn you in the phase-on, and you take damage during the cutscenes. So
That happens even when you're in hyper mode, right? Like the damage increases. Like you don't take damage, but as soon
no, you
as
take
hyper-
damage because acid rain forces you an auto event.
Oh, alright.
So being in hyper mode when a cutscene starts actually buffers out the first few seconds of taking damage from the acid rain, but then you take more damage. So the outer bounds that I was talking about to skip Spider Wall is here. You can jump back up through that gap, and there's nothing behind it. It's just a void, and you can get out of bounds that way. But it's really tricky to get back up that, like, get up that point, get up that. I don't know what to call it. Shaft, I guess. That thing. But yeah, there's no wall behind it. You can just go straight out of bounds.
Nice.
Alright, I'm out for now. I'm gonna go get ready for my run and have breakfast
sure.
and whatnot.
Yeah, sure thing.
Good
Good
luck
luck
on the rest of the
for
run.
it.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
sure,
see you
thanks.
guys in a little bit.
Hey look, Kenta still hasn't woken up.
Is he ever gonna wake up?
I think he'll wake up in like 8 hours and be like, oh shit. What pace am I on? This is probably like a 232, 233 pace run. I keep forgetting to split though, so I'm not entirely sure. That was a good segment though, actually. I saved time on that. Okay. So this is the ring I was talking about with the antennas. 3 antennas spawn a little bit after the fight starts, and I want to get rid of all of them so that no more space. I'm gonna fail. Yeah, I failed. Damn it. My stupid sensor bar trolled me, man. I couldn't aim at it. Like, it was just like stuck, like just underneath. So that spawns an extra 3 space pirates, which makes me use pretty much like an entire extra E tank of energy, which is not so fun considering we still don't have Hazard Shield right now, and there's a lot of Acid Rain which the Hazard Shield would normally protect you from. Actually, I'm gonna grab these health drops still lying around because I want the extra health. Okay, that should be fine. Well, in fact, you can get out of bounds here and do some stuff, but that's not happening. Basically, this run is like a whistle-stop tour of places you could get out of bounds, but nobody wants to. It's actually like one of the cooler sequence breaks you can do in Prime 3, but it's so insanely difficult. I wish I could do it. It would be really cool to show it off, but I can't do it at all, unfortunately. Okay. So there's some cool shortcuts in this room. We can do a screw attack. And some general kind of abuse because you don't take damage while you're in screw attack. Even though the like the compounding damage like timer goes up a bit, but you don't take the actual damage until you exit out of the screw attack, so you can kind of prevent some of the damage you take. That was probably what you were thinking of instead of hyper.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
So I think I mentioned earlier that taking damage in midair kills all your momentum, which is why I had to really wait there because the second robot did not want to die, and if he'd hit me in midair I would have fallen down. And falling down is bad. Oh my god, what was that? Nice targeting, bro.
Okay.
Okay, so this is why you kill the robots. God damn it, where the fuck is it? Alright. So yeah, your momentum just dies if you get hit by anything in midair. It's so dumb. It's so terrible. So now I've shown that off, I don't need to do it again, so that's cool. Falling is bad, not killing robots is bad, getting hit in midair is bad. Things are just bad. Okay, so now we have to do just like a little bit of a almost auto-scrollery section to get Nova Beam. Just like, you have 4 waves of like 3 pirates, and oh. Well, I don't want to kill them, I want to take that armor off, and then I'm going to knock them into the beam in the middle. And you do that 4 times, which then gives you access to Nova Beam. This is kind of one of those sections that doesn't really make much sense when you're doing it casually. Until you work out what's going on. You spelled Zerd wrong, Dragon Fangs. Oh, you weren't there?
I apologize. No, I wasn't. I saw it. I apologize.
Okay, sorry, good. That was so good. Fucking MG. Like, I don't even understand. You get Zerd from yes, like, come on. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I mean, it's the letters.
The letters are all shifted over by 1 except the Z.
Except the Z, so I mean, whatever.
But still.
But like, they say, oh, what was that? Like, I don't think you were at N2K2 back then, but like, someone mispronounced Yoshi's, or like mistyped Yoshi's name, and it was like super weird.
Okay, I'm gonna try a thing just to show off because I can. So, you can get
It
a
was
slight
like
ghetto
up
effect.
to you.
Okay, that's not working. So you can get a slight ghetto effect off ledges. I'm not getting it right now, but I'm trying to. You can get on top of these pillars and just kind of chill out. It's pretty fun. I'll try it again in the next
It's not getting up there.
The overrun run should be starting in like half an hour or so. I don't know where it should be starting in terms of the schedule. I know we started late, but just get Beelzebub stuck in my head when I hear the Space Pirate theme now, because I watched Genesis D recently. So yeah, you can just kind of do this, like, while you're waiting. Just chill out. There's not really much else to do that's constructive. What? Yeah, I got the screw attack. Yay.
Yay.
The last couple of runs I've tried it and just bonked, like, really horribly bonked. So now we get Nova Beam, which can go through Phase Light, which is kind of blue goopy stuff. Well, it's only goopy when you shoot it with Nova Beam, but whatever. It also has the added benefit of being combined with X-Ray to see certain enemies' weaknesses, which you can then basically like 1 or 2 shot them if you shoot it directly. Which actually, well, it does some interesting things to a couple of fights coming up, if we'll put it that way. We should be roughly on schedule after this
Yeah,
run.
we're pretty much on schedule, right?
When's this run meant to finish? Or like, when's our run meant to start? Actually, there is a couple of cases where you can do more damage with Nova Beam than Hyper Beam. Because of the thing I just mentioned, you can't actually activate, you can't use visors when in Hyper mode. For the most part, at least. So you can't actually see enemies' weakness points with a Hyper Beam, and you can't attack it. So you can actually dispatch certain enemies faster with Nova Beam than you can with Hyper Beam. Start 12:45. Okay, otherwise I'm gonna start in like half an hour, so we should be on schedule. We should be fine. It's gonna be kind of close actually. Like we're gonna be a little bit behind starting over, I think. So 5 minutes or so. Because the setup's gonna be kind of annoying, so I have to like stop my run and then set everything up. Oh my god, thank you. Seriously, my sensor bar is not happy.
I can see that.
Like, yeah, it just like it's just like a dead spot, like in the top. Like, what the hell? No, no, the turrets. Why? That was what was meant to happen. I targeted the turret by accident. And targeting does weird things to your momentum. Wee. Okay. Okay. So now this is just kind of like a little kind of puzzle room, I guess. There's like 3 sets of, I don't know, like phase 8 locks almost that you have to destroy. And you do that using Nova Beam and X-Ray, and I fell all the way down, which was not going to happen. But okay, so you can see that. Oh, I just completely tapped my microphone. Apologies.
Oh, I thought you like fell down in real life.
So you can see on like Space Pirates, there's like red bits on their head, and that's the Space Pirates weak point. And if you target that with the X-Ray visor, and then shoot a charged Nova Beam, it does like ridiculous damage. I think it has like an 8 times multiplier on it or something. Like it does some like insane damage. Like it pretty much one-shots them with like a fully charged fully charged Nova Beam shot, which is incredibly convenient. Because it means that they want to get in your face. It's like conveniently at eye level. Yeah. Oh, split. I guess I'm not splitting again. So now we have the demolition sequence, which is probably the most fun section in the run.
Outstanding job, Sam.
I love this part. It's so fun. It's just hypermotive use for 6 minutes. What could be better? Hello. Yeah, like, god damn it. The top of my screen just doesn't exist apparently today. Calibration's off or whatever. That might troll me later on final bosses, I hope it doesn't. So we're actually not going to pick up any more expansions. 30 missiles, 5 E-tanks. Get a couple more major upgrades, but nothing... No more like expansions, because they're just not needed at this point. Like, we don't need the missiles, like, at all. They're pretty useless, and we have enough health to breeze our way through phase pretty easily. So we're pretty much getting into the end game now. Like, oh my god, ah! Where's the health thingy? I know I activated those health drops.
There you are. I am.
This is definitely a very fun segment. I mean, it's very fun to play. It's pretty nice to watch. It's just a lot of hypermotive use to kill enemies really quickly. Like, what more could you want? $12 out of 12, easy every time. Do you doubt my abilities? Okay, I might get 11 now. Yeah, I get 11. Okay, rip. Never mind. Not up to 12 out of 12. I lied. So the issue with this fight is that if the flying pirate goes down there, then he will dive bomb and guaranteed kill someone. And it's more likely to happen if you do the SSJ to get up here, but it saves like 40 seconds, so rip. That lasted like all of 20 seconds after I read the message. But by getting up on there, you can actually see the enemies when they spawn and kill them a lot quicker than you normally would be able to. And it also means this door loads instantly. Normally you have to wait, so that's another benefit. Yeah, Prime 2 only has 18 arbitrary objects for you to collect throughout the game.
Yeah.
Prime has 12. Prime 3 has 9. Well, Prime 3 has 5, technically. I guess it depends if you want to do it 100% or whatever. I guess I haven't been mentioning them, but yeah, I've been collecting like energy cells throughout the run. They'll be used in an area that's coming up after the boss at the end of this planet to get a certain code we need to finish the game. There's 9 of them total. The game tells you to get 5, we get 3 because you only need 3. I think actually we get 3 or 4. I don't remember if we actually get more than 3 and we just don't use the last one. It's been too long. There's a space pirate still alive, where are you? So for some reason, if you screw attack if you screw attack up onto that ledge, it pushes the space pirate down off the ledge. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I was saying earlier that like hyper mode is like Nova Beam can be better than Hyper Beam under certain circumstances. This is Berserker Lord. Whoops. That was Berserker Lord.
It's rare.
He takes 1 Nova Beam shot, not even a charge shot, to the face and dies. And another trooper died, god damn it.
Wait, did something happen with the sound?
I
I didn't hear anything.
It might be Mumble being away.
Maybe.
I don't know if it was game sound or Mumble. probably a mumble thing. Okay, 10 out of 12, whatever, fuck it. That was terrible, but whatever. This isn't 100%, so I don't actually need to get all troll troopers.
Is that part of 100%?
No.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay,
recharging health here just to be a little bit safe on the next room. Oh, static sound? Okay.
I want you to do like a 100% friend token run, whatever it was.
No! There's infinite friend tokens! Why
Oh,
would you do that?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. There were like achievement things, right?
Yeah, but there's like infinite of them. Like, okay, so this guy's the pirate commander. He'll either sit here and let me kill him, or he'll teleport around. If he teleports around, it's a lot slower because he has loads of invulnerability on his teleport, and it just sucks. And he teleported, of course he did. Okay, he teleported close to me, that's nice. Okay, he's dead. And then for the rest of the pirates, you just use Nova Beam to pick him off. That's like why I wanted to recharge a bit of health, because if he trolls you extensively, you can end up wasting a lot of energy in hyper mode, trying to kill him. Also, this fight looks really cool. We should do the entire thing in X-ray pretty much. Oh, the trooper dying? Yeah, it probably was that. That sound is pretty loud. So that's pretty much it for Pirate Homeworld for the most part. I mean, we have the seed boss left, which is a boss. Spoilers. It's Ridley. You didn't know it's Ridley, you now know it's Ridley. I'm not gonna get a spoopy cutscene, what a shame.
Oh.
I know, right? And then after that we've got a few little things to kind of clean up, and then we're on to the final world, which is phase. I did get a spoopy cutscene, nice. Oh yeah, it's not actually, like, I don't think that's the trooper dying, I think that's the space pirate noise. I don't know. Because the flying pirates make that noise sometimes. Okay, so Omega really is another fight that's trivialized by knowing how to fight him, surprisingly enough. So the first phase, you shoot him in the face, and then he gives you access to his chest plate, and then he only takes like a certain amount of damage before he resets, but then if you do a charge shot, it stuns him for a little while, just enough time to get a hyper missile off, which then which moves you into the next phase. Second phase, he has 2 chest plates, you have to 2-round this phase. Basically, again, hit him in the face to make him stand up, and then you basically hit the arm plates until they die. That's a bad pattern, I can't hit him in this pattern. And then the third phase unfortunately starts with a very long section where I can't do anything. Well, maybe I can. I mean, you can do like little bits of damage, like a little bit there, but overall there's like not really much you can do during this phase. You just pretty much have to wait until he lands on the floor again. But then he dies in like 20 seconds, so it's not even a problem. Aaron. Okay, I tried for a hyper missile snipe there, I didn't get it. You can't even kill him in his flyby phase, you have to wait for him to land. Technically, you could damage him down to 1 health with hyper missiles while he's in the air, or like hyper beam shots, but they're ridiculously hard to aim. So it's not worth going for. Yeah, the radar's pretty cool for this fight. But I mean, like, it's not even really worth it anyway, because you can wait for him to land and he dies in like 5 seconds anyway. Like, it's really not an issue.
You gotta save the frames though.
Rip. I didn't get it on the last one. Rip. 2 out of 3. Disappointing. I'm doing this again from the top, guys. Nice, I got super load as well. Everybody go to sleep for 40 seconds. Oh wait, no, I didn't get super load. Okay. So, sometimes you'll get a loading screen after that pickup, and sometimes you don't. And sometimes when you do, the loading screen takes almost a minute. For no reason whatsoever. It just like, I'm just gonna do nothing for a minute.
Typical retro nonsense.
Yeah, pretty much. At one point, I thought it was like related to how much time you spend on the rugby fights. So I'd get a good fight and always get the slow load. So I don't know, but it's not like consistent anymore. I think part of that was my old disc being bad. Yes, we now have maximum grapple. We have all 5 grapple upgrades in the game. Yes, there are 5 of them. Grapple lasso, grapple swing, grapple voltage, hyper grapple, and ship grapple. So now we have all the upgrades in the game, actually. We're gonna head to the GFS Valhalla, which is a floating ship. Which would be a really cool area if it didn't take 8 years to load every door.
it's a floating living.
It pretty much is. And then after that, we come back to the Pirate Homeworld, hand in the code we get, and then we're off to phase. Well, we have all the major upgrades that we're going to obtain. Technically, we have Hazard Shield now, actually. Beating Omega Ridley gives you Hazard Shield, even if you've never picked it up. So I actually have Hazard Shield. I can walk in Acid Rain, it wouldn't do any damage. And it's in my inventory, but I don't have the percent for it.
Quality program. Also, I'm a bit negative against Retro, but I really don't like Retro as a developer. They just, I don't know.
It actually, it gets better. So, so your suit state is like tied to doing certain bosses. So, in low percent and in like the theoretical fastest any percent route, you skip Mognar and don't get Hyperball. So if you get Hazard Shield and then go beat Mognar, you don't have Hazard Shield anymore. Like the game takes it away from you.
Fucking crazy.
And it takes away the percent as well if you actually picked it up like legit. So you can like never complete the game 100% if you do it that way around.
Amazing.
But then you get it back again if you beat Omega Ridley afterwards. It's so good. This game is so well made.
That's like, if that was an actual 100% route, that would be sick. Like grabbing Hazard Shield, then beating Morgan, and then beating Omega.
There's actually a theoretical route that would do that for 100%
Really?
using early Alicia. You would do all of Brio, like standard Brio and Brio cleanup in one go at the end of the game. Because you'd have everything else. You would just like get as far as you can, skipping Screw Attack, and then go back to Brio, get Screw Attack, do all of Brio, do Mognar, and then continue on with Hyperball and get the things you need with Hyperball. The thing is that you have to like, the issue is like skipping Screw Attack is really painful. And getting Spider Ball without Screw Attack sucks. Really hard. But you pretty much need that to be able to set it up that way. So it probably wouldn't work out better. But it's possible. So we've used, so this is the third energy cell I've used. I used 2 other ones earlier and I forgot to mention it. So normally the game would make you use 5 if you go the optimal route, but we can actually skip the last 2 using a pretty cool trick. Which again is terminal fall of use, like the skip in Alicia. Just waiting for this room to load. Unfortunately, every room in this place is tiny, but takes like ages to load for no reason whatsoever. It's really bad. So there's two energy cell things to the side of what you meant to use, but we can actually go up here and we can screw attack into this plank, and it sets the terminal 4 trigger to be at the door. So I've now skipped 2 energy cells and I can go straight to the end. And it's that easy, like, that's not even like hard. Like, that's probably one of the easiest tricks in this game that's actually constructive. I'm being bad at these locks today, like I'm really... I can't think fast enough.
You're too tired.
The data you just acquired, it is likely that find a way on.
Red, please.
Why this is door simulator, because this is how doors behave in actual life. Man, if actual doors were like this, I would be so frustrated like every day.
People just wouldn't have doors. Like, you would just use windows.
Yeah.
Password protected door. The door isn't password protected. The X-ray thing there gives you the codes to the pirate Leviathan.
Samus, we have received new data from AU-217.
What the fuck was that? There are noises outside and I don't like them.
Scary noises.
It's like a robot in Prime. Like it's Mecha Ridley, it's not Ridley.
But then
Is it like Mecha Ridley or Meta Ridley? Like,
It's Meta
I'm sure
Ridley.
it's both. Like,
I mean, it's not really, I don't know.
the one in Prime 3 is Mecha Ridley, I think.
Like, what is a Mega Ridley?
I don't know,
That's
it's
also
Meta.
Mecha. Is that
Yeah,
still Meta?
it's weird. I don't know.
They just want a villain they can reuse, but they have no explanation for him.
And
not
Kraid
dying.
is too big to fit into the game, it doesn't move
Apparently.
enough, so they use Ridley. Ridley's just like the whipping boy of the Prime series.
I mean,
It's like,
he's-
we need a boss, quick, someone come up with an idea, Ridley. Yes, perfect, okay.
I mean, he seemed like
I need
every
another
game
boss,
though.
do another Ridley fight. Yes, it's brilliant, okay. Like, there are like 2 Ridley fights in this game. Like, actually 2 Ridley fights. Like, come on.
Sort of three.
Yeah, kind of.
Kinda.
I mean, you can technically skip that one, so it doesn't really count. It's not really a fight anyway. It's just like he tries to eat you and you bomb his face. Like it's not really a fight. Oh no, isn't it like Meta Ridley and MZM? Like Mecha Ridley then?
It's specifically a robot in Zinj.
Yeah, I think that might be Mecha Ridley, not Meta
Yeah.
Ridley.
And in Prime it's Meta, but I like
Yeah.
he's a cyborg thing, whatever.
I just realised you don't fight him in Prime 2, so there's only actually 3 fights for Ridley in the Prime series. It works.
Yeah.
One for each game.
It makes sense. The 2 games are actually like the only games where Ridley isn't a boss. Like it's Metroid 2 and Metroid Prime 2.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
And
I
then
love those.
and then Hunters, but Hunters isn't the game.
He's even a boss in Pinball, come on guys.
Yeah.
Oh man. Other is a really, really good speedrun.
it's
Especially
actually
hard
fun.
mode, which is the run that's gonna be done. Like, it's a really good speedrun.
Other is a fine speed game. It's like it's still like super linear, but it's
like whatever. We can.
It has like
we
a
can
huge
speed
amount
run
of
this
tech
game.
and it's really, really fast paced.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. Like once you start skipping all the cutscenes, the game gets a lot more fun.
It really does though, and there's like so much tech in
agree.
it as well. Like there's so many little shortcuts and stuff you can do. And there's like no secret sprays. But...
And on hard mode, like boss fights are
Oh, yeah.
genuinely pretty terrifying.
Hard mode is crazy. So hard mode is force low percent. There's no pickups in hard mode, so you don't get any extra health. You don't get any extra damage. You don't get any missiles.
You don't get any missiles, no. That's actually a problem because you only have missiles to use like one super missile before you have to reload, and you need to use supers on Ridley. It's
Yeah,
horrifying.
but you can use concentration all the time because you're always at less than 100 health.
Well, sure, but like, I mean, you can't really use concentration against Ridley because it's super aggressive.
Yeah,
It's-
really
it's
is
just hard.
hard even in like any percent,
Yeah.
like not hard mode. But
But you'll see that-
seriously, like if you want to see like a really intense run, you should watch MRM.
It-
It's gonna
it-
be really sick.
It is a good speeding. Yeah.
Like, put your preconceptions aside, it is a legit speedrun. Space dragon. It's not a dragon. It's a lizard with wings.
I mean, now I'm not sure, but I think like canonically his species is called space dragon.
God damn it. Trying to make a joke and you're ruining all my fun. God.
I'm sorry.
Cool. This could be a 232. I'd be happy with that.
Did he? Ridley is like a commander in the army. He's not like a mindless animal or something. He's
He's
like
the,
a smart
he's
guy.
the space pirate commander.
Samus,
Created
we
as the
have
space
gained
pirate leader.
control of
He
the
he doesn't really show it in the games because he just attacks Samus really angrily.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's actually like a high-ranking general type, and in Space Pirate.
And he is like super intelligent and stuff.
Yes, yes.
But he's canonically. I mean, he's pretty fucking stupid in Prime 3 at least.
like he's
Like, he has
then-
wings and he jumps down a fucking elevator shaft. Like, I'm sorry, what? And he doesn't just fly away. Like, come on, please. I mean, his wings like get burned or something, but I mean, really?
We
Like,
have
that was
gained
bad planning on your
control
part,
of the
mate.
Leviathan.
Get some better armor for that shit. He's like 8 times as big in the Prime games as well.
Now will be it. It's time to.
Oh, I was trying to get
Once your
text
rendezvous
stuff on.
is
It's time to
complete,
end this,
we'll
but I
head
messed up.
straight into the belly of the beast.
And you can't like unadvanced test. I like mashed one box too far. Oh well. I don't know. I know the reason for it, Mayo-chan. Don't worry. It's just like, it's pretty poor explanation. Like, for his canonical attributes, he is played pretty badly in Prime.
Yeah.
He's pretty dumbass. But then it's not, you know, I mean, you can make the argument it's not really Ridley, so then, you know.
Well, I mean, he has the dumbest in all the games.
This is true.
I think the only game where he like in this fight, he appears to be do some kind of smart things. It's like super.
Wait, what? Oh, hang on. What? I'm
think-
confused.
I don't know.
What did I fuck up?
What? Did you miss something?
Once you run through the fleet, it's time to end this. Go to phase. Oh, I probably have to advance it. It's fucking text.
Take heed.
No, what? Yeah, okay.
Please be sure to
Did I just like completely miss the landing site? What? It wasn't there, right? It really wasn't there. Like, was it there? And I just like,
It was a bad
it's actually
milestone.
not there. It's like straight up not there.
Rip.
Is I like fucking softlock or something? Like, are you fucking serious?
Wait for the hint system to tell you where to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's pretty much what I'm doing at this point, because something weird happened. Hey, there we go. Okay, yeah, it's probably the Admiral Dane text triggers
Now
it.
we'll be able to. It's time to.
Ah!
Once you
Yeah, yeah, there we go.
Hello?
Okay, I didn't get the Godspeed message. Okay. Something like this happened the other day when I was doing a run. Like I got Admiral Dane's text up, and you can't activate the scan visor when text is up on the screen, so I just had to like mash through the text so I could actually scan something. No, it's still not there. What the fuck? Like seriously, what is happening?
Oh, this is what
There
this
should be a
destroyed.
landing site there. Like, what?
Rip face.
Now we'll be able to. Once you rendezvous.
Press 1 to get to the map screen. Okay.
Let's go to the map screen.
Now it's there. Fuck you, game. Wow.
Yeah, get wrecked.
The hint system's off, by the way. This is how good this video game is. I swear I didn't have to do that last run. What the hell? God fucking damn it. That's ridiculous. Well, there goes my pace. Like, that was actually gonna be like a good run. That would have tied Kirby's PP. Without that. Now I'm gonna be like a 234. Fucking rip. Still gonna be better than ESA though. That's so dumb. Like, what the fuck? I'm so mad. Why is that a thing? Okay, so now we get to phase, and now we go into permanent hyper mode, which is cool. And we get to use our visors in hyper mode, which is also very cool. Press 1 to open the map. God damn it.
See, all these guys in chat, they know how to do it. Could have let them run again.
I want to stay roughly to schedule.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna actually be an issue if I can't aim at like the top third of my screen for Aurora unit. So yeah, so now the kind of mechanic reverses. You have hyper mode constantly. The bar at the top of the screen starts empty and slowly fills up as you spend time on this planet, and then you empty it by using your weapons. So you're kind of in a permanent state of corrupted hyper mode. If it fills, you're dead, but it never fills. Like, it's not gonna happen, not with 5e tanks. Can get kind of sketchy with like 3, but anything more than 3 and you're like super safe. But I mean, I use 4 for Mugnar anyway, so I wouldn't ever have less than 3 in a run. So some pretty cool like little things you can do in phase to optimize stuff. And then there's, in the very last room in phase, there's the very last version difference between Paladin and TSE, and it's really dumb. But it's the cause for the extra like 40 seconds or so faster on power. No, NTSE, it's faster than NTSE, I know what I mean. Okay, so this room's pretty cool because it's like, it implies you even like jump across it with screw attack, but there's just like this convenient gap here that you can just jump down.
Nice.
It's just like a series of hyperball kind of puzzles almost. Not really puzzles, but like, I guess, I don't know, whatever they are. Something. Once you get to this third phase, there's actually this enemy that sucks the phase on out of you and then gives it back to you in like higher amounts. But if you kill him after you sucked all the phase away from you, you just have 0 phase on. It's pretty nice. And then there's a little trick here to skip an enemy by charging a boost, and then as soon as I land on this enemy, hold the direction and boost away from it, it doesn't catch you. And then you can skip having to fight it. Saves like 10-15 seconds maybe. Then we got like an idol, and I can't shoot it because I can't aim at the top of my screen. Okay, this is actually like a problem. This is actually possibly going to prevent me from doing Aurora Unit properly, which is going to be annoying. So then we have this room, which has this little hop alpha, I don't know what they are, splinters or something in there. A load of things that fall from the ceiling. If you actually hit them with a beam before they hit the floor, they die in one hit. Like, they don't have health until they technically fully spawn, which is when they're on the ground. Before then, they have exactly 1 health. Now we got it, landed behind me. That was odd. My sensor bar's being weird. Basically. This guy you have to fight. A lot of people try to use charge shots on him. Charge shots are bad, just mash. Okay, I can aim at the top of my screen a bit better now. Move where I'm sitting. So this last room has like this kind of chamber thing, which is blocked off by grapple panels, and there's like a bug thing inside it. And you can do a bit of a trick here on NTSC by killing it by using X-ray visor. You gain access to its weak point, which then does more damage for some reason, and you can kill it in free charge beams. On PAL, it's actually impossible to do this. I actually attempted to TAS it, and the damage you do is pretty much random, and I've only managed to get the 1/3 damage required once ever on emulator after like 20 hours of testing. So it's basically impossible on PAL.
Killing that thing takes like forever in PAL, right?
Yeah, it's nasty. It takes like another minute longer than that. Like everything else in phase is exactly the same, but that fight takes another minute longer.
I remember being there. I remember being there and like being confused if I was even doing the right thing because it's like it kept shooting forever. And
yeah. So the first fight we have is Dark Samus. Great music, by the way. The strat for Dark Samus is to pretty much use charge shots when you get a chance, but then basically push up against her and try and keep her away from the center, because when she goes into the center, she does her split move or her transformation move, both of which waste a lot of time and are kind of annoying to get around of. And you can't damage it directly during them. This is going pretty well so far. That's one more round longer than I would have liked. I got trolled a little bit because she jumped really quickly after she lands. Okay. Second boss is Aurora Unit 3-on-3. This fight has a cool trick to do it in 2 cycles, but it's pretty hard. Hopefully I put it off. If I don't, I'm going to be upset. But I might not be able to with my sensor bars being weird. But basically you can do just... Normally like the game implies you're going to do it in like 3 or more cycles, but you can do just enough damage. Wow, are you serious? No, I fucked up. It's not happening.
Correct.
Yeah, my hyper missile bounced for some reason. So basically if you do like... Oh, hello. Maybe not. We might be in there. If you do a hyper missile, and then some shots, and then another hyper missile, you do like just enough damage to do over half damage in 1 cycle, and then you can do that twice. Unfortunately I messed it up, so I have... I mean, I think I can maybe still get a 2 cycle if I get really lucky on my damage. But I'm gonna have to cut it like really fine. I don't wanna... I think it's unlikely at this point. So it's weird, 'cause it didn't like react to... no, almost. Yeah, that would have maybe done it if I fired the missile a little earlier. That was really close. Luckily I'm getting really nice patterns from the Aurora unit, so it's a fast fight anyway. Kind of annoyed I didn't get that. Yeah, it was 1 missile off, I would have had that. Oh, I didn't get running on time. Ah! Where's team?
Oh my god!
So this fight is the last fight, and it's really RNG what pattern you get, and some of the attacks are nice and some of them aren't nice. This is one of the not nice ones because it has. Oh no, okay, never mind. It has a really annoying ground phase, but then sometimes you can stagger him out of the ground phase if you do enough damage, which is what I managed to do, so it didn't work out too badly. That's the perfect attack right there, that one, because it gives him so much stun and it's really quick. And time. I can't stop the timer. Whatever. It's fine. It's close enough. 3:22:31. Cool, I'll take it. That was okay. That's probably like a 3:25.
Ooh, nicely done. I'm so tired somehow.
You're still tired.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no reason to be.
What a scrub.
I actually got like 8 hours of sleep. I still haven't woken up for the reason.
Alright. So Dane trolled the shit out of me. That was fucking retarded.
Highlight them.
Oh god, I remember that. The Ghost Metroid in Kirby's run last year. That was great. Alright, so we'll let the ending play out, just get the in-game time, and then we'll set up for other M. Which you guys should stick around for, because it's going to be awesome.
It seems like Angelus is ready to go.
Cool. Yeah, Angelus should be pretty much ready, I think. I'll move those guys into the setup room so they can sort out some stuff if they need to. I love the credits music in this game, it's so good.
Like, they tend to be in all the Prime games, I think. I don't even remember the credits music in 2.
And you don't listen to it in 1 because you skip the credits.
I listen to the credits when I play the game.
What a scrub. You gotta go fast, man. Fast forward that shit.
With the death of the planet Phase, Samus Aran's arduous fight against Phazon has ended. However, in the vast regions of space, this victory is just a twinkle of a star, spreading the light of hope.
Mission fulfilled. Pray for a true peace in space.
The galaxy is at peace. So yeah, thanks again, Dragon. Thanks for commentating my run.
Well, I mean, I did what I could.
This is becoming a thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's cool.
There are not enough Prime 3 runners to have actual commentators.
Oh, dude, I forgot. After M16-9, god damn it. No, my layouts!
But I mean, you tend to do pretty well on commentary by yourself, I'm just there for banter. It works though, it works.
Yeah, it's all good. The sick bands. This layout doesn't have as much room on text.
No!
And Janice's name is too long. It doesn't fit. Okay. Oops, I'm messing everything up. God, I love this song so much. Feels good. It's the sound of finishing a run.
The catharsis.
What? Hello? I can't. What? XSplit, please. Let me make this bigger. XSplit! God damn it. XSplit! XSplit is breaking everything. Not even me this time. It's all XSplit.
Isn't it always all extra?
Shh. Okay, 234, I'll take that. That's a good run. Nice. I'm happy with that. Alright. So we'll now move over to set up for other M. We should have it set up pretty soon, but yeah. Cool. Where's the setup thing?